Have you heard the news that Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA? Have you
Intercontinental Suites has been
out to Dusler, Gage to the 40, to quickly out to Dusler, Gage to the 40, to the 30, he's on his feet, and that's a 49-yard touchdown. Oh, it's picked. DJ Wolf, touchdown. 3rd and long. Jones to throw. He's pressured and he's sacked at the 27-yard line. Deep right side. In, out.
Oh, my gosh.
Touchdown. What a catch. Noah Coyne. And welcome inside, or outside, DeSanto Field on a rainy, cloudy, gray, mid-October day in northeastern Ohio. The site today, it's homecoming on the campus of Case Western Reserve University as the Spartans are home to host the Titans of Westminster College. My name is Ron Yantz. He's Andrew Rossman, the former cornerback for the Spartans of Case Western Reserve University, and we welcome you to homecoming. Happy homecoming, Andrew.
Thanks.
A graduate, former baseball and football player here.
Yeah, it feels good.
Is it fun for you to come back to campus?
It's fun. I'm excited. I know there's a bunch of guys somewhere in the stadium, either up on top of the parking garage or down in the stands. So looking forward to celebrating with them after. And hopefully we're talking about a win here for the Spartans today.
Well, the Spartans have done a lot of that this year. That's win. They played 5 football games. They've won 4. Their only loss in overtime to Grove City here at DeSanto Field. And that was a game that could have gone either way. But since that time, they have done nothing but win in the PAC. And they'd like to today continue that. They're coming off a win, a shutout win. Westminster comes in, 3 wins, 2 losses, and they are coming off a win, a big win over Bethany, 42-7. And when you look at this Spartan football team, what's different today than it was 3 weeks ago, Andrew, actually 4 weeks ago, the last time you've seen them, is their quarterback, Alex Fromberg. Talk to me about how successful he has been since he took over the starting role when Ian Kipp got injured.
Well, you can see it in the win-loss column. He's been great. He's led them to good string of victories here. And if we look, he's actually been the leading rusher for the team on the season. So maybe not how you want to draw up the rushing offense, but yards are yards. He's been great through the air. He's been great on the ground, able to find the end zone through both ways of getting it done there. So he stepped in, can be tough as a backup quarterback coming in, especially that early in the year, but has done a great job so far.
And Andrew, on that point, and as it's appropriate that we get a look at the weather, because the weather will dictate what will happen on the football field today. It's raining, and the wind is supposed to pick up dramatically as this afternoon goes on. If you look at Case Western Reserve University, and if you look at offensively and you say, what can they do better? It's run the football. Take out the quarterback, not the quarterback running the football, but Dusler and Lim and a couple of the other guys in the backfield getting positive yards. So how do you make that happen?
It's pretty simple. There's 5 answers to that question, and it's each of the 5 linemen up front. So from center all the way out to the tackle, as the offensive line goes, that is how the ground game will go, and likely how the entire Spartans offense will go today.
Speaking of offense, when we flip it to the other side of the football field and you look at the Titans of Westminster, their top tailback is a young man named Ryan Gomes. He leads them in rushing this year with almost 500 yards, had over 1,000 a year ago. Not only did he lead them in rushing, but he was the President's Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year. How do you stop him? And since Case kind of, hangs their hat on their defense, it should be a good matchup, correct?
Yeah, well, the easiest way to stop a running back like Gomes is don't let him get started. What I mean by that is get penetration. If you're on the front 7 for the Case Western defense, you need to penetrate. You need to get through there. Hit him before he's able to get the legs going. And as you said, he's extremely talented. He has been for a couple years now. So they know the task at hand, and it's pretty simple on a defensive side for them.
The Spartan Marching Band is on the field. The cheerleaders are ready to welcome the football team onto the field. It's raining, but it's homecoming at Case Western Reserve University. We will take this time out, and when we come back, we'll hear from the head coach, Greg Debelak. That's next.
Have you heard the news? The Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4 Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
And good afternoon and welcome inside the Santo Field as Case Western Reserve University gets set for its homecoming game today, a big matchup against Westminster College. Kickoff coming up in a few minutes, but first, I'm John Schwartz. Joining me today is head coach Greg Debelak as the Spartans get set for today's game. Coach, before we talk about today, let's get into last week a little bit. The team comes away with a 19-0 win against St. Vincent, a good St. Vincent team. Talk about the defensive effort from your team in that game.
Yeah, our defense, as they have all year, has played exceptional, and St. Vincent week was no different. St. Vincent is a tricky team to play. They do a lot of run-pass options. You have to be very disciplined, and our guys, that's kind of the definition of the Case student athlete. They're smart, they're disciplined, hard to fool, and they just gave a great effort. So happy they kept them out of the end zone that last drive to preserve the shutout. And then offense came through in the second half, kind of wore down St. Vincent physically. Really happy with the way we played in the fourth quarter. So, we're going to have to improve, certainly execute better going forward on offense, but, a good win nonetheless.
You talk about the play of the offense in that game, and in particular, it looked like the offensive line really starting to come into their own. I think they only allowed 1 sack in the game. They've done a good job in protection this year. Talk about that offensive line and how they've grown together, especially the 2 new offensive tackles that you've had this year as this season has gone on.
Right, and I think Coach Slesh, our offensive line coach, has done a great job with that group. 2 young offensive tackles, both sophomores. And yes, they are hitting their stride, and just the physicality that we're playing at, we were worried about that coming in. Can our tackles be physical enough? Because they are good athletes, they run well, but can they stand up against good quality PAC defensive linemen? And they've done an exceptional job. You mentioned the sack total. I think it's 4 for the season. And just our run game is improving, and it will continue to improve if we continue to play as physical as we have been.
Yeah. The other area where you've had a couple of replacements on the defensive side of the ball has been your outside linebackers, where you're playing with your 2 backups to start the season in Bush and Summers, and they've stepped in and played really, really well. Talk about those 2 and the role they played in making sure this defense hasn't skipped a beat despite losing 2 good players at those spots.
Yeah, they've played really well, and losing Marco Toth and Ryan Cabrera was a huge blow. They are some of the finest outside backers we've ever had, just so explosive and fast. And Bush and Summers have played within themselves. That's the nice thing. They're not going to play with the same style that Marco and Ryan played with, but they're really good football players in their own way. And yeah, you don't shut people out with poor play in a 3-4 defense from outside backers. So they've played a huge role in the success of the defense this year.
You know, the other person on defense that's really stood out this year is Caden Tong, and not just getting to the quarterback, which he's always done, but it seems like he's making more plays all over the field, more tackles in general. Talk about what he's brought to the team this year and how he's elevated his play in his senior season.
Yeah, I tell you, it's been amazing because he had hip surgery in the spring, and it was kind of touch and go if he was going to be ready. And, you know, he is an explosive athlete. And again, we were worried about how he was going to rebound from this hip surgery, and he hasn't missed a beat. I mean, his rehab went as quick as I've ever seen. And yes, he is not only a great pass rusher, he is a problem in the run game because he is so quick. And if you take the wrong step, he's by you in a second. So, yeah, and he just started a food review Instagram page, too. I want to plug him for that. That's quite entertaining, so please check that out.
We'll have to take a look at that here, see what Caden recommends. But turn our attention towards this week's game and a Westminster team that is always a challenge, particularly on the defensive side of the ball for them. Talk about Westminster, what you can expect from them this week coming into DeSanto Field.
Yeah, I think it's a typical Westminster team. They're going to be really physical on defense, and they try and create confusion with a lot of different schemes and blitzes. I think their defense does a great job with that. And offensively, they are solid. They have a young quarterback, but he's playing very well, completing 60% of his passes. They have the returning offensive player in the year at tailback. They have a good set of receivers. So, yeah, they are a very good football team. The only score that was like questionable was the W&J game, but they had a number of people out for injury that are all back. So I think it'll be a great game. I think as our games always are. It's going to be physical, and it'll come right down to the wire.
You know, the last question I have for you regarding homecoming, and obviously you get to play in front of a big crowd out there, although weather looking a little questionable, but hopefully the sun will come out for homecoming. But talk about what it means to be able to get out, play in front of a big crowd on homecoming, how that helps support the team on game day.
Well, I view it more as I've been here 20 years, so it's been almost a generation of players that I've coached. And when they come back, it's always very gratifying, you know, to see what they're doing now and to see them coming back and being supportive of our current players. So we have a group from the 2012 team that are coming back. They graduated in 13, so they're 10 years out. They're all coming back. You know, and just kids from all different eras will get together. So that's, as a coach that's been here since 2001, that's what I enjoy about homecomings, just seeing the guys you've coached in the past come back and seeing what they're doing today.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate it as always. Kickoff coming up in just a few minutes. Case Western Reserve versus Westminster. Homecoming day at Case Western Reserve when we return.
We are just moments away, exactly, well, just over a minute and a half away from kickoff here at DeSanto Field. Ron Yance, Andrew Rossman along with you. Michael Becker, our director as always, as we bring you Spartan football, all the home football games here at DeSanto Field. We also look forward to bringing you men's and women's basketball, and that will start before you know it. As a matter of fact, the men's team was practicing this morning over in the gym at the Veal Athletic Center. And also this morning, Andrew, on homecoming weekend, I was with the softball team. They had their ring ceremony this morning, and the ring ceremony was presenting all of the players rings for setting a school record, 38 wins a year ago. They were 38-5 a year ago, and the women made the NCAA tournament. So lots of activity here on campus today, this morning, this afternoon, and this evening, and a lot of it centering on athletics, as it typically does on a homecoming weekend. So we're about ready to kick this thing off. As you can see, the Spartans will receive. Westminster, the Titans, will kick it off. And doing the kicking for the Titans will be Ben Pugh. Pugh is teeing the football at the 35-yard line. Westminster in the road white with gray pants, and the jerseys trimmed in navy blue with gray football helmets. Spartans in their home blue. Deep blue, white numerals, or black numerals trimmed in white, and we're ready to play football here from DeSanto Field on a rainy October afternoon. And the Spartans will start with the football, and they'll get up to the 25-yard line, and that's where the offense will come out and run their first offensive possession. Andrew and I talked a little bit about it in our pregame show. The quarterback for Case Western Reserve University, Alex Fromberg, the 6'1", 200-pound senior, and he has been outstanding this football season after taking over the starting duty and really the sole duty as quarterback when Ian Kipp got hurt. Before that, and part of last year, along with Drew Saxton in the mix, their talented quarterback, there were 3 quarterbacks playing for Coach Debelak, and now it's all Alex Fromberg, and he has certainly responded. He'll throw first, and it's a screen to Riley Nurk. Great block out front, and Riley gets up to the almost 30-yard line. He's going to pick up about 4 yards, but there's a flag on the opposite side of the field.
Offside, defense. Number 25, 5-yard penalty, first down.
There we go. That's the best offense we can start with.
Matthew Petruzzi, the outside linebacker, jumps offside. So the down will stay the first down. They'll mark off 5 yards, and it'll be 1st and 5. Along that Case Western Reserve offensive line, left tackle David Friedman, left guard Peter Kelly, center Jace Merritt, right guard Tony Thivner, and the right tackle Owen Meyer. And this is a quarterback draw by Fromberg. And Alex breaks it outside, and he's near midfield. Fromberg run out of bounds at the 46-yard line. That is a pickup of nearly 20 yards.
Yeah, and we mentioned it in pregame. That's going to be the bread and butter. Coach Debs might want to mix it up a little bit, but he's perfectly okay with getting yards like that. They're going to go tempo here and keep the momentum going.
Fromberg to throw. This was the first play of the game, that little screen outside. This one's complete to Riley Nurk. And Nurk and Ethan Dahlem help each other out. Ethan caught the first pass. Nurk was blocking for him, and Nurk caught that one with Dahlem blocking for him.
Yeah, and that's just kind of an extension of the run game. It's an easy, high-percentage throw. Let Fromberg settle in. Whenever you have weather conditions like this, the wind we think is coming later, but at least for now we got kind of a misting rain. So you never know what the grip's going to be like, what the ball is going to be like on any given day. So get the confidence going and keep the sticks moving.
And on that note, Coach Debelak said, with all seriousness, the most valuable people on the field today will be the ball boys. Little screen in the underneath of the defense, just a little flip out to Ethan Dahlem. And what he meant by that, he says, we're going to have 6 footballs, 3 for each half. You'll have 3 footballs for Case in the first half, 3 brand new footballs for Case in the second half. And he said, we have experienced college students on our sideline keeping track of the dryness of the football. And he was talking about that fact like it was the most important part of the game today, was keeping those footballs dry.
It matters. It takes an army.
So it's 3rd and 6, a long 6. Little pass to a wide open Sean Michael James, and Sean Michael James is down inside the 20-yard line. So Sean Michael slips out of the backfield. He's a blocking fullback.
Yeah, and that's my guy. There's probably been, in the games that we've done together, Ron, that's probably the 30th time they've run that play. He comes out of the, call it tight end, stub tight end, H-back position. He's not a running back, I'll tell you that, but he is so effective in running that little boot play action that they've done there, and again, we've been seeing it for years.
At 5'9", 200 pounds, he's listed as a back, and typically if he is back there in that traditional spot, it's to block for Dusler. Gage will get the handoff straight up the middle. He will run behind his center, Jace Merritt, and Dusler's down inside the 15-yard line.
And that's a good sign there. So when I think about a typical Westminster team, they've had teams that are, call it just average all the way up to great. No matter what the team actually produces on the field, they're tough. And it starts with their defense, and a lot of times it starts with the defensive line. Any given year, Westminster's usually got 1 or 2 guys that maybe transferred in from another school. It doesn't matter. They come into this culture, and it's tough, physical defensive linemen. So good to see on first down there, getting 5 yards going forward.
Spartans opening drive. Needs 6. Fromberg thinking about running. He'll tuck. He'll go to that corner, and he slides out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
And that's kind of what we're going to see for the rest of the day from Fromberg. So we mentioned earlier he's the leading rusher on the team. I'd say a lot of that is not really scheduled quarterback runs. It's more kind of free form when the play breaks down, pocket collapses a bit. He's a big physical athlete. He's able to get out in space, and he can also run pretty well. So it's good to see them moving the ball forward. Again, they're able to do it whether they're on schedule, off schedule. He gives them that ability.
Alex at 6'1", 200 pounds. He's in the shotgun. First and goal from the 7 for the Spartans. Fromberg looking. Back corner. Touchdown! No, out of bounds.
Out of bounds, and they had it. They had a great play design, called a play action, roll out to the right. See a lot of teams do that either with the tight end on the front side, and that's exactly what it was. The tight end on the front side leaks out. Westminster loses him. Not able to drag the foot, but that play will probably come back, and we may see that again later today.
That's Dominic Wade. Dominic just, I think, didn't know exactly how little space he had left when he caught that football. So it's second and goal, again from the 7. Got Coyne, Dahlem, and Nurk split out wide to the right. Soon's going to go to Dusler. Dusler catches it at the 10, gets a nice block, jumps forward, and Gage Dusler's in the end zone for a touchdown.
And there we go. That's kind of the hallmark of this offense. You get the ball in the hands of the athletes, open field, able to make a little shimmy and then get in the end zone. Couldn't have drawn up a better opening drive for the Spartans. Able to get on the board and, most importantly, get in the end zone, start the momentum early.
Well, he got a great block from Riley Nurk early, and then Noah Coyne did enough to hold up another defender at the goal line, and Dusler's dive for the end zone finished off a touchdown drive.
And that was probably the 4th or 5th play we saw in that opening drive, but at least half of them where they went play action, bootleg, get people out in space and moving, and that may be something they've seen here as they get their game plan together for today.
Petruzzi's point after touchdown is good, and with 11 minutes, 4 seconds left to play in this first quarter, Spartans go all the way down and score on their opening drive. It's 7-0, Case Western Reserve.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4 Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Ron Yance, Andrew Rossman, back with you at DeSanto Field. Andrew, that opening drive, impressive. What was impressive about it?
I think when you think about a lot of times an offense comes out, most coaches will have it scripted. They'll either have the first 8, 10 plays scripted. I thought that was a masterpiece from a play calling perspective. Now, it's one thing to call the plays. You also have to execute them. Thought Fromberg was great. He looked in control. Weather did not seem to be a problem. Not that they necessarily pushed the ball deep down the field, but, again, able to control the football through the air on the ground. Really balanced start to the game for them.
Here are the Titans on their kickoff return, and it's a nice job by that Spartans special team. Braden Frank, a junior defensive back, with the tackle.
Yeah, now it's showtime. We've hit on it throughout the season. This is really the hallmark of this team, the Case Western Spartans defense. As we look across the front, Dodowski, Kelly, Tong, and then at the linebacker position, we've had Bush and Summers really step up to support 2, we'll say, more veteran linebackers on the inside, Torres and Trock. So first time in I don't know how many years we've had 2 shutouts, and they've gotten them early in the season. So look for them to set the tone early and keep the scoreboard looking the way that it is right now.
Westminster will go to the run. Opening play, that's Gomes, the reigning offensive player of the year in the pack, and he gets absolutely almost nothing on that first carry. Andrew talked about the down linemen, A.J. Dudowski, the senior, Michael Kelly, the graduate student, and Caden Tong, the senior. That is a veteran group. Then at linebacker, they go sophomore, senior, grad student. It's Henry Bush, Sean Torres, Gabe Trock, and Jake Summers. The corners are O.C., the sophomore, and Dominic Size, who has 4 interceptions so far in 5 games. He has been fun to watch as a corner. pass out, and the receiver was coming in, and the pass went out. Jalen Washington went down and in, and Ty McGowan's pass went out. So that's an incomplete pass, and it sets up 3rd and long.
Yeah, now you can really get fun. If you're defensive coordinator Warren Miller, you can really dial it up here. Hard to tell so far what the pass protection is going to be like, but the fun part about this 3-4 defense is you don't know where it's coming from. There's going to be a linebacker coming. You just don't know which one, whether it's inside, outside, sometimes all of the above. So this is where this defense really, cuts their teeth, is on 3rd and long, and let those big D linemen, like we mentioned, get after the quarterback.
Gomes, the only back in the backfield with his sophomore quarterback McGowan. Ty to throw, the lefty over the middle, deep ball, and that's to absolutely nobody. Good coverage that time. Down the middle for the Spartans was Gabe Trock, the linebacker, getting all the way down near midfield.
And we're going to have a flag here, likely roughing the passer. He apparently wasn't polite enough as he tried to tackle the quarterback.
We have our officials mic'd. So the foul, the roughing the passer penalty, will be on R.J. Ayers. Ayers, one of those down linemen that plays a lot, not a starter, but you will hear his name many times tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? Never want to go out and intentionally do it, but he got a good shot in and on him, and with the young sophomore quarterback on the other side, it's going to stick in his head here for a little bit.
So Westminster has to call a timeout. They had too many players on the field. They had to take one or get penalized for it. So we'll take one, too. It's 7-0 Spartans. 10:09 left to play. Opening quarter.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
So when you look at this Spartan defense on the season, Andrew, you mentioned that they have 2 shutouts in 5 games. They are giving up only 9 points per game, and that is the top-ranked scoring defense in the entire PAC.
Yeah, and the way that people talk about defense is if you're giving up points, they always want to find an alternate way to present it. They'll say, oh, we give up points, but we're great on the ground or we're great through the air. Case has got the most important statistic down. They do not give up points. Like we said, two shutouts so far in 5 games. They're first in the PAC in scoring defense, 8th overall in the NCAA. Anytime you're giving up less than 10 points a game, that's really going to set you up for success, not only on the defensive side, but also just team-wise, special teams, offensively. It's a 3-phase game, and that's where it starts.
Well, and their defense on 2nd and long, 2nd and 8, gives up barely over 100 yards rushing per game, and that is a tackle in the backfield. Henry Bush on Ryan Gomes, and that Spartan linebacker got in there almost as soon as Gomes got the football.
No, this is great to see. You think about that 3-4 defense, and Westminster there trying to pull the guard around. He just couldn't get there. They blitzed the outside linebacker, and that play had pretty much no chance from the start. So Gomes is a really good back. We can see the historical stats, but so far he hasn't. Not only has he not been productive, moving forward with the ball, he hasn't been able to get back to line of scrimmage on half his carries.
Bush, a sophomore, in his outside linebacker spot for the Spartans. It's 3rd and 11. Screen is set up. Spartans with defenders at the 40, and the Titans are going to get 5, but they're going to be 7 short of a first down, and a punt will come next.
Yeah, and that's Bush again, and I may owe Mr. Bush an apology. I don't think he was on our radar to start the season. You see him on the 2 deep. He definitely is now. I mean, ever since they've had some injuries at the outside linebacker position, he's been all over the field.
Well, Cabrera and Toth are the 2 outside linebackers, the 2 seniors who were studs at linebacker for Coach Miller as the defensive coordinator, and that's Yoder that calls for the fair catch, and the Spartans will have the football back. But it was Bush and it was Jake Summers. Bush, the sophomore, and Jake Summers, the grad student, that took over in the outside standing.
Yeah, and I want to see what the referee calls here. Case had too many guys on defense. It was not 12. It might have been 20.
Legal substitution, 12 men on the field. The penalty is declined. First down.
So the Spartans will have the football. And they'll try to do on their second drive what they did on their first drive, and that's march down the field like a hot knife through butter and score a touchdown.
Yeah, so that's exactly what the Case Western defense wanted to do. So now we think they've had perfect offensive drive to start, more or less a perfect defensive drive to start. This is when you can really start to impose your will on the other team. So Case up 7-0. They got the ball to start. They know Westminster will get it to start in the second half. Great chance for Case to go up 2 scores here early in the first quarter.
You know, a year ago, when the Spartans went to Westminster to play, they lost. They lost by a point. It was 14-13. It was an excruciating game. And it really kind of derailed their season. And the players that played in that game certainly remember it and want to, that's the beauty of sport. You always get a second chance. Even if, redemption isn't on your mind, it certainly plays into everything that you do as the Spartans pick up 4 on the pass to the tight end. This is Dusler, the running back, near the 30. And Gage, they'll mark him down at the 31, and he's pushed back there. How long did a loss stay in your mind, or in your mouth, or in your body, or in your thought process?
Well, the one year I was fortunate enough to play, we didn't lose until the final game, so that helped.
Yeah.
But just thinking about sports in general, that's the hallmark of a great team. Losses happen. It's very, very rare that you're going to have an undefeated season. So loss will happen in the season. It's really on the veteran leadership of that team to come back, reset expectations, and get everybody focused on the next game. So good teams, couple days. Bad teams can take a lot longer.
Tight end again, wide open. Dominic Wade. Wade over midfield, still going. Big Dominic Wade, 235 pounds of a tight end, working the football to the 38 of Westminster.
Yeah, and that's the wrinkle that Coach Debs and Coach Slush found in somewhere in the lead up and the prep for this game. That's probably the 3rd or 4th pass that's been directly schemed up for the H-back, that tight end role. So think about Sean Michael James setting the tone earlier with a big catch, and then we also have Wade coming in. You said 230 pounds. He does not move like that. He's a lot faster and a lot more agile than the measurables would suggest. So
235.
235. Yeah, he's a really good athlete. And Case for a couple years hasn't had a traditional tight end out there. It's a lot more these H-backs, and they do a good job of scheming it up for him.
He's in that slot again. This time Fromberg will keep it. Fumbles. Ball loose. Westminster has it. And that unfortunately ends another promising drive for the Spartans.
Yeah, credit to the Westminster defense. That was 8, 9, 10-yard run, and it looked like Case was really starting to move downhill there. Able to do what a good defense is, really predicated on. Even though you're giving up yards, bend, don't break mentality, and able to punch the ball out there. So give their offense another chance. I feel really good about how the Spartans' offense has looked so far, but unfortunately, turnovers can be one of the real drive killers for even a team that's rolling along as well as they are.
It's a good look at their sophomore quarterback, the left-hander, number 6 for Westminster. He'll roll, throw, and he's got no room. He's running for his life, and the pass is incomplete. Boy, how he got out of the clutches not only once but twice of 2 Spartan defenders is a magic act for Ty McGowan.
Yeah, McGowan is running for his life so far. So Spartans defense, the whole front 7, I think each of the front 7s had a chance to touch the quarterback at this point through a not even a full 2 drives. So that's going to make, hopefully this afternoon, pretty fun for Warren Miller as he continues to, we'll say he's going to be pretty blitz happy.
Warren Miller, the defensive coordinator for head coach Greg Debelak. It's one of the beauties of this coaching staff. Coach Deb's been here 20 years. His coordinators have been here almost as long. McGowan again with pressure, room to run, and he's going to slide near a first down. He'll be 2 yards short.
And he looked pretty good there.
Looks smooth, didn't
he looked like a pretty natural runner. So he's young. He's a young guy. He's only a sophomore out there. And, do you have a favorite left-handed quarterback? Who do you
Kenny
think
Stabler.
of? Stabler?
The Snake. I think of the Snake every time I think of a lefty. Now, that's way before your time, Andrew. You may be thinking of Steve
Tebow.
Young.
Tebow.
Tim
Tebow was the lefty growing
Yeah.
up, so he obviously struggled a little bit at the pro level, but in college that was as good as you've ever seen.
Gomes needs 2, and he's going to get it.
Yeah,
He gets to the
2.1.
39-yard line. Ryan Gomes in his 5th year. Gomes wears number 1 in this Westminster offense.
Yeah, and Gomes, not a big running back, 5'8", 175, being down on the field in pregame. He put his heels on his 45-yard line while Case was warming up, and for about 30 straight seconds he stood there and stared at him. And, sometimes it's a lot of eyewash and doesn't really matter, but he made it pretty clear early on. I don't really care who this defense is. He doesn't have fear. He knows what he's capable of with this offense.
The senior, the 5th-year senior from Tampa. Pass over the middle, picked! And returned. Guess who? Dominic Size. Still going. That is interception number 5 for Size.
I've never seen Warren Miller jump as high as he just did.
Probably
Yeah.
pulled a hamstring.
No, athlete beginning to end. So that we just talked about how the Westminster defense is able to make a momentum-changing play like that. Size, you said what's his 5th interception?
5th interception,
Seems like his
6
50th.
games.
So, he's on pace to have a tremendous year. And, it starts up front, able to disrupt the quarterback, disrupt the timing, and then Size able to make a great break on the ball and good little return too. So this is more or less exactly where Fromberg fumbled. We talked earlier about how you deal with a loss. Kind of a microcosm of that. How do you deal with a turnover? So we'll see what Fromberg's able to do as he gets back out on the field with the offense.
Alex gets the snap, little trick play. Fromberg looking over the middle, wide open, tight end, and it's a Spartan touchdown.
I love it. You have seen, no matter what level of football you've watched on TV this year, whether it's college, the Browns have run this play. That play's been really, really popular with coaches.
Keep
everywhere
running it,
now.
right? Dominic Wade.
It's great. So it's for 30 years you would see that reverse. The quarterback would take it, and what would you think right away? Deep ball,
Yep.
bomb, post, flag, something like that. Every team that I've seen, I'm telling you, at all levels, they've been running that play, and then they leak someone out on the wheel route. The Browns did it with, I think, Elijah Moore. They ran it. Everybody's been doing it. Great play design. Coach Debs probably had that start and said, quick change, turnover. That's the play we're coming out with.
Petruzzi once again up and good, and with 4 minutes, 24 seconds left in the first quarter. It's Case Western Reserve 14, Westminster yet to score.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4 Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Well, a lot of excitement so far at DeSanto Field on homecoming for the Spartans of Case Western Reserve University.
Yeah, can't say it enough. That's a perfect start to the game for Case. Touched on Westminster, always being a really physical, tough, athletic team. When you get them down like this, it makes it a little tougher for them to kind of play the bully role.
Elijah Greer will catch it at the 14, and he's got a lot of room to run. Greer down the Spartan sideline, run out of bounds near midfield. They'll mark him out at the Spartan 49.
Yeah, and one thing we really haven't seen much from the Westminster offense is really anything through the air. So we've talked about Gomes a good deal already, but, McGowan's hasn't really been able to get to his favorite target. Jalen Royal Island so far, he's had a pretty productive season so far through 5 games, and a lot of that is due to some of the troubles that Westminster's had up front. Case Western's defense, Tong, Dudowski, Ayers, they just haven't allowed them to get the time to really let the pass game develop. And, with that not working as well as the run game, it's been tough sledding so far.
So the last time Westminster had the ball, they had a turnover. Quick little pass out near the Spartan bench, and it went absolutely nowhere.
Guess who that was?
Dudowski.
And Mr. Bush.
Yep.
And Mr. Bush. So, Case so far, as athletic as Westminster is on the outside, they always have good athletes. It's always at the running back position, tight end, wide receiver, always really good in space. Case has done a great job so far of rallying to the ball, not, getting caught up in all the shift and all the motion and stuff like that. So good job of tackling people in the open space and really limiting yards after catch.
2nd down and 9. McGowan, he's going to run with the football, and he has absolutely nowhere to go at midfield.
No, it's nothing. There's nothing there. And
Bush again.
I mean, they've tried. They've tried to get the run game going. See QB power, QB wide zone is what that turned into there. But Bush and the rest of his friends have been able to really run. Case doesn't have, and this is typical, they don't really have a big space eater in the middle. It's usually really good athletic guys all across the front and allows them to really get out and run and lock down the perimeter.
Well, that front, including their number 1 backup, Ayers, 3 seniors and a grad student. So they certainly bring experience. It's 3rd and 11 for Westminster. McGowan, pass, and a big hit by Jake Summers makes it incomplete. Trying to reel it in was Chevy Dawson, but Jake Summers, the right outside linebacker, delivers the hit.
Yeah, and that's a good job. That's in today's day and age in football, a lot of times you see guys still go head hunting. They'll pick up a 15-yard penalty, and did a good job of just kind of hitting him right in the back, right in the shoulder, and good clean hit, good clean play.
There's a Spartan down on the field.
Yeah, it looks
and it
like
might
Summers.
be Jake Summers.
Yep, yeah. It's hard to tell. It might just be a
Timeout on the
little
field
stinger.
for injury.
Jake's the linebacker that delivered the hit. And it looks like he got the worst of it.
He got the wind knocked out of him, looks like. The old telltale sign.
Holding the arms up?
Yep. He'll be good. Give him about 2 minutes, he'll be good.
Check. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3. There.
So it's 4th and 11. Ball's at midfield. Spartans up 14-0. They have had 3 drives. 2 have resulted in a touchdown, and 1, they were moving it and lost it on a fumble. So offensively, the Spartans have done pretty much everything they've wanted to do. TJ Yoder is back. He's set to return standing at his own 15. And he'll call for a fair catch. And Case Western Reserve will have it at their own 13-yard line. You look at the President's Athletic Conference after 6 weeks into this season. Grove City, top of the league, 6 wins in 6 games. They are undefeated. And Andrew and I were talking earlier, they have already met the gauntlet, so to speak. They've already beaten Carnegie Mellon, they've already beaten Washington and Jefferson, and they've already beaten Case Western Reserve University. Those 3 schools, Carnegie, W&J, and Case, have a combined 14-3 record, and those 3 losses are to Grove City. So what a special season they are having. Here's Fromberg, and Alex with some positive yards.
Positive yards and 2 hands on the football that time, so did a good job of covering it up. Coach Debs, it's probably the 2nd or 3rd, say on schedule, intentional quarterback run, and every time they run it, it's 5-6 yards minimum.
So Fromberg's a great story, and I talked about it a little bit in our last home broadcast, which is now 3 weeks ago, so it certainly bears repeating. He was on the team in the quarterback room with Drew Saxton, who was a graduate student, 5th-year guy, record holder in nearly every quarterback statistical category in the history of Case Western Reserve. Ian Kipp, also in that quarterback room, and Fromberg last year. And all 3 played in different roles.
Timeout. Case Western.
And we'll keep
half.
it here during this timeout to tell the Fromberg story. So naturally, after this season was over, after last season was over, I shouldn't say naturally, but you could understandably, is what I meant to say. Alex went to Coach Debs and he said, Coach, I love you as a coach. This is a great program. He said, but as an athlete and as a competitor, I'm really looking to play more. So I'm gonna leave Case Western Reserve after that fall semester last year, and he's going to go back home to New Jersey and play for a school back there. And he did. And he had a great conversation with Coach Debs. And when he got back home, he found out that he was homesick, meaning the buddies at Case Western Reserve, the football program at Case Western Reserve. So after the spring of last year, he called Coach Debelak back, and he said, Coach, I'm going to re-enroll at Case Western in the fall, and with your permission, I'd like to go out for the football team again. And Debs said, well, I got shoulder pads waiting for you.
And here he is.
And here he is. And he's having a heck of a football season. And Ian Kipp, gets injured in that game that you and I did 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago now, the first home game of the season. And where would this Spartan team be if Fromberg wasn't here to pick up the pieces?
Yeah, it's a sign of a good team. Depth. You got to have depth. You always hear about it usually in the trenches, the defensive line. That's usually where the depth conversation happens. But, hey, injuries happen in football. It's a tough physical game, and all credit to Fromberg being able to step in after a couple years of just kind of being a change of pace guy.
3rd and 1. Ball caught, but tackled immediately at the 21-yard line is Ethan Dahlem, and he'll lose actually 2 yards. So a good defensive play that time by Westminster.
Yeah, Case threw it up. That was putting Dahlem in space with a one-on-one. There was one defender unblocked, and if you don't catch it the first time, it makes it a little difficult to convert. So it's the first time, other than the fumble, that the Spartans' offense has been stopped. And hey, you feel a little better about punting when your defense has been playing how they have.
Joseph Rhodes, the 5th, with the punt. A Spartan bounce. Rolls out of bounds at the 42-yard line of Westminster. 34 seconds left to play in this first quarter, and it has been a first quarter owned by the Spartans of Case Western Reserve University. It's 14-0.
Okay, I'm looking around the PAC, say from the big four, and that's going to be Case, W&J, Mellon, and Grove City. No real head-to-head matchups there. W&J is on a bye, as we mentioned. Grove City's got, not that there's any gimmies, but we'll say the softer part of their schedule coming up. They're at Allegheny today.
Little pass underneath, or an option pitch, however you want to call it. Chevy Dawson got it, and Chevy got stopped.
That's the old shovel. That's the Mahomes shovel play. You see Andy Reid running that a lot of times with Travis Kelce on Sundays over in Kansas City. So this Case defense at all levels today has really started off strong, and expect that to continue for the next 3 quarters. And that'll do it. 1 quarter down.
1 quarter in the books. Clock has hit 0. We'll take a timeout. Spartans up 2 touchdowns, 14-0.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Case Western Reserve on this homecoming Saturday afternoon on a rainy and wet day on the campus just east of downtown Cleveland. Running out 35. It's a good thing to see 35 running back out there. That's Henry Bush. Bush, of course, has had an outstanding game so far from his linebacker spot. He made a hard hit. I think, as Andrew said, maybe lost his breath. But he's back out there ready to play football a series later. So it's 2nd and 12. Westminster with the football, and they're looking to get some sort of positive moment here offensively. McGowan to throw, and it's behind his wide receiver. Right now, so far, at least to my eye, it appears that the receivers and the quarterback are not on the same page route-wise.
Something's off, whether it's the depth of the routes, it's McGowan getting happy feet in the pocket, but has really struggled so far to get the ball moving through the air. And again, when the Case defense is playing as they are up front, you're not going to have any success on the ground as well. So it's cleaning up. I mean, we look at the first quarter stats for McGowan. Let's see, passing 3 of 7 for only 1 yard total in an entire quarter. So credit to the defense. They've really made it tough on him early here.
So he'll need 12, or the Titan offense will need 12 to keep this drive going. 3rd and 12, McGowan with pressure, going to step up. Look to run. He'll tuck. He will. He gets to midfield, dives forward to the 49, but he's going to come up 2 yards short.
Yeah, and there was a tackle by the Spartans defense and an even better tackle by the offensive tackle on Westminster. So
It's a holding penalty.
Yep, Caden Tong basically got wrestling takedowns. We'll see. Coach Debs with a decision here. They were short of the sticks. Looks like they're going to back him up, make him call it 3rd and Menor here as they'll rerun that play.
So the decision was this: make it 4th and 2
Holding.
from the
Offense,
49.
number 78. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Or back them up 10, make it 3rd and 22. And Coach Debs and Warren Miller didn't really need time to make that decision. They said, let's back them up 10 more.
They're going to back them up when it's kind of rainy conditions like this. You want to play the field position game a little bit, even though your offense has been, super successful so far. Every yard counts. So look for Spartans to play coverage here. They'll drop back. They'll rally to the ball. Okay with the completion as long as they tackle them short.
4 wide receiver set for the Titans of Westminster. It's 3rd and 22. McGowan will throw it short. He's got it to his running back, Ryan Gomes, and Ryan got leveled. He got hit hard by Caden Tong.
Sakalo, it looked like, coming down from the safety spot.
Nathan Sakalo.
And you'll see it on the replay. Sakalo in the white sleeves on the right, put his foot in the ground. He's going to come downhill, and boom.
Right there.
There you go.
Sakalo got him up front. Tong finished him on the back end, and good to see Nathan Sakalo back on the football field. He missed a couple of games this year in concussion protocol. And with hits like that, sometimes you risk getting back into concussion protocol.
Defense is nasty, every level.
Yoder fumbled it. And Westminster, ball's loose, wet, and the Titans have it. Well, that is the 2nd fumble by the Spartans today.
Yeah, it was tough. That was kind of a lower line drive punt. Got to scramble, try and catch it. See his teammates doing a good job of telling him to keep his head up. This defense is fine. They've been getting after it all day, and time to have a little fun.
So this will be Andrew, by far the best field position that Westminster has had today. Does anything change for them philosophy-wise with better field position?
Well, something should change. They haven't had success doing anything so far. So from just a field position perspective, probably not. I would think they're going to try and lean on their star running back Gomes here because through the air it's been really, really tough for him.
Gomes will get the handoff, and he'll get positive yardage on the left side of that line behind Gage Zuglovsky and Braden Micah.
Yeah, and just looking from a rushing perspective in the first half, Gomes had 4 carries, 6 yards total along a 3. So, I mean, that was only a 5-yard rush, and that was already significantly his best rush of the day. So we'll see if they can get him going. If they're not able to do that, McGowan's going to have a long day back there.
Gomes came into today with 426 yards rushing, averaging nearly 5 yards every time he takes the football. He's also scored a touchdown in every football game this year. Fake handoff this time. McGowan looking deep down the sideline. He goes down the sideline, and a great defensive play, great effort on that far side by DJ Wolf.
Like DJ Wolf, that was a great play, especially from a safety. A lot of times you'll see safeties kind of struggle running with that wheel route there, but call this the lean and locate. So you'll see DJ running with the wheel route here. He's going to use the sideline, turn his head, make a play on the ball. Textbook. That was a great play.
And he actually bit early in that play. He came in when Dawson was coming out of the backfield. He recovered quickly.
Yeah, and we'll call this Westminster's got 2 plays to get 6 yards based on where they're at in the field.
McGowan going to roll. Still looking, and he just throws that one out of bounds.
Yeah, and we'll see again. They're kind of in that black hole area of the field. I would expect them to go for it here. You're certainly not kicking a field goal, and punt doesn't make much sense. So a lot of times what coaches will do, they'll keep the offense out there, tell them to throw it deep. If the defense catches it, basically chalk that up as an arm punt, and they'll get the ball down there.
Defensively this year for the Spartans, they have given up just over 100 yards rushing per game. And they've given just up 151 yards passing per game. So less than 300 yards total, a lot less per game. 4th and 6, McGowan inside the 10, caught, touchdown. What a play. In stride to Tate Beachy, and Beachy goes 31 yards, pass and catch on a 4th and 6 for a Westminster touchdown.
And that is by far the best throw of the day for McGowan. Put it right there. Beachy doesn't have to break stride at all. And, hey, if you're Case Western, that's what happens with turnovers. You let a good, talented team like Westminster hang around, and all of a sudden they put one up on the board, and now you're going to have to respond. So credit to Westminster there. They desperately needed not only points, they needed a first down there and able to convert and find the end zone.
It was a beautiful play. I mean, that
play.
pass was absolutely perfect. Beachy did not break stride. And the point after touchdown is missed. So with 12:36 left to play opening half, the Titans are on the board, but the Spartans hold the lead. It's 14-6.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Check. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3.
The mic check by the field judge is working just fine.
I've heard him every time he's done it. He's done it 3 times, so we are good.
It's really cool when we can hear the announcements on the field, the penalties, and what exactly is going on from the officials.
Well, it depends what they're saying.
So we appreciate Mike Becker going the extra step as our director and miking the official. Spartan's going to start at the 27-yard line. Greg Debelak is going to send his team out. Coach Debs in his 20th year. He's won 135 games, lost only 56. We talked about Warren Miller, the defensive coordinator. We need to mention Derek Slesh, Coach Slesh, the offensive coordinator. Between those 3 guys, they have got, well, I'm not going to say almost 100 years of college coaching.
Oh, call it 100.
experience,
They've been here forever. It's great.
They've been here a long time. You add all 3 of them up.
It's great. It's good continuity. They have a good reputation. They win on the field, most importantly.
Fromberg with pressure decides to run, and Alex just over the 30-yard line. My partner wanted a late hit called. He was throwing the flag up here on Dylan Sleva, the middle linebacker, 44.
It's a little late. Gotta protect our guy. But another one of those pocket breaks down, receivers aren't too open. The one thing we haven't seen, a lot of it's going to be weather-related, but not a whole lot of a downfield presence for Case. They've run that wheel route to the H-back a couple times. Other than that, wide receivers not too involved so far. Not that they've needed to be.
Here comes the blitz. Boy, that blitz is picked up well. Dahlem's going to get positive yards, but if it wasn't for the block of Christopher Lim, the sophomore tailback, picked up the blitz, saved his quarterback.
Yeah, that was not only do they get positive yardage there, they completely avoided disaster. Sometimes with those screen passes, if the defense is sending people, it gets a little hairy there, but good job Fromberg and Lim, like you said.
Lim remains in the backfield behind his quarterback Fromberg. 3rd and 3 for the Spartans. Lim's going to get it, needs 3. Got it.
Got it and then some.
Up to the 40-yard line.
And we've seen a lot so far. They've kept Dominic Wade and Sean Michael James, the two H-backs. They've had them both out there, and we've seen it in the passing game. Those guys have been really, really good. So that's probably the first time they've both been out there, and it was a run. So good job by Coach Debs kind of breaking tendencies so far.
Lim will stay in, the 200-pound sophomore from Singapore. Came to the Spartan campus through the IMG Academy in Florida. This is Fromberg, quarterback draw. And Alex is thrown up near the 45-yard line. Fromberg had 319 yards rushing in the first 5 games of this football season, and that led the team. Gage Dusler was second with 269. Coach Debelak has said many times this year it's not in his design or plan or even wish to have his quarterback be his leading rusher. And probably the biggest reason he doesn't want that to happen is increased opportunities for his quarterback to get hurt. Talking about opportunities to get hurt. Boy, to lay in a hit that time for that Westminster defense was Walt Phillips, the junior linebacker from Pembroke, Florida.
Yeah, he was able to get out there, and number 5 was sick of seeing that little tunnel screen. So Case, a lot of times, that's one of their go-to plays. They saw pressure coming from the top of the screen, coming from the slot blitz, and they go tunnel screen down below. And Westminster said, okay, that's enough of that play.
Sean Michael James in the game, the block. Lim, the other running back. Fromberg will throw. Gets it out to Lim, and in and out of the hands at the 50-yard line. So the Westminster defense is held again.
Yeah, and that was a little different feel. That was the first time that Westminster kind of felt like the aggressor there. Case, up until this point, had been doing whatever they wanted to do on offense. So Mr. Phillips there able to make 2 straight plays in the passing game, getting out running sideline to sideline. And, hey, now it's only 14-6. Case punting the ball away, and, this Westminster offense and defense working together to get some confidence going.
So Joseph Rhodes, the 5th, will punt it for Case Western. And Gavin Greaves is set to return, and that is a beautiful punt by Rhodes. And it is down at the inside the 1.
Great kick. And you know who's down there to stop it? Mr. Dusler, your starting running back. That's a great play, great kick. Coverage team able to get down there, and hey, if I'm on the defensive line for Case Western, I'm licking my chops here. That ball's on the 1-yard line, and this is time to really go and get it.
Our camera crew got a great shot of Dusler running off the field. As Andrew mentioned, he hustled down there. You're starting running back. And, Coach Debs told me this week, he said, we want more production out of Gage on offense as our running back than we have gotten so far this year. We expect more out of him. And then he said, but honestly, it's hard to keep him off the field because of the things that he does outside running the football. Blocking for the quarterback and catching a short pass out of the backfield, and then
False
you
start.
just saw now on special
Number
teams.
54 offense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
So half the distance to the goal is what, 6 inches?
Yeah, back them up. Every inch is going to count here. So looked like they were going to go and kind of just do the QB sneak, put your head down, and see if you can get some breathing room. Cause
Is that all you have here, Andrew?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're literally on the goal line?
That's about all you can call in this scenario, unless you really trust your guys.
So that's what they'll do. They'll get maybe a yard.
Yeah, and this, sometimes, especially when it's raining like this is a avoid the disaster play. It's kind of what the theme of their offense is going to be on this drive. We'll see if they trust McGowan to drop back here, because when you're backed up, there's so much that can go wrong. Holding penalty in the end zone, safety. Bad snap, safety if not a touchdown. Sack, safety. So we'll see. Sometimes it's tough with a young quarterback like McGowan, but I mean, this Case defense has got a really good chance here to kind of flip the field and give their offense a good chance to get more points here, assuming that they can get the stop.
Rain continues here at DeSanto Field. It has rained really since last night. Gomes will get it, and he's going to get pushed back after getting to they'll mark him at the 4-yard line, so he'll pick up 3. It'll set up a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and I would expect Mr. Gomes to probably get another carry here. He's a graduate student. He's been around forever. Trust him to carry the ball, and, hey, maybe you're able to break a tackle and pop one off here, but we'll see. It's still not a fun position to be in for the offense.
54-10. Michael Kelly, Caden Tong. Here's Jake Summers. Summers from Avon Lake High School. One of 4 Avon Lakers starting on this football.
Take a guess. Either Mentor or Avon Lake.
Yep.
It's going to be one of those schools.
Flip the coin on those two. They have been good to head coach Greg Debelak. And a flag. It's
delay of game.
Delay of game. Too much
Delay
time.
of game. Offense, number 6. 5 yard, half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
I'd be okay with 5 yards. Take it back 5.
Take it back to the
5.
2-yard line.
Yeah, so it looked like they were actually going to throw the ball there. We'll see if they do that after losing a couple yards, that penalty.
Westminster comes in, 3 wins, 2 losses as we take a look at their offensive huddle right now. They've won their last 2 football games. They come in with back-to-back wins, including a big 42-7 win over Bethany a week ago. So McGowan in the shotgun in his own end zone. The left-hander will set to throw. And it's incomplete at the 10-yard line.
There we go. It's exactly what that defense needed. After giving up, sudden change, fumble on the punt return, and then a touchdown on 4th down last drive. Case defense kind of getting back to their winning ways. And, again, this is all with the goal of setting up your offense in positive field territory and go touchdown hunting here in a minute.
TJ Yoder from State College, Pennsylvania, standing at the 35-yard line, ready to return the punt for the Spartans. Standing on his end line is Craig Sonson. Spartans will have it at the 35 of the Titans, looking to add their 3rd touchdown of this opening half.
Yeah, and this is big. We look at the scoreboard. Case up 14-6, 7.5 minutes left. Westminster is going to get the ball to start the second half. This is a great time for Case to try and find the end zone, extend the lead, and then you can let your defense get back to the fun after that.
We have not seen even a target yet on Noah Coyne. Coyne is split out wide to the right as the Spartans start this possession. And I say that because he's a 6'4" target, and he leads the team in receptions and yards. And this is the handoff to the H-back, fullback, slot back, big guy, whatever you want to call him, Sean Michael James. There's Coyne right there. Noah Coyne from Paynesville, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin High School. 6'4", 205, 19 catches, 400 yards receiving. He averages 21 yards every time he catches a football. Andrew, do you think it's because of the weather?
Yeah, it's the weather. It's the weather, and they've had success elsewhere. So, probably from a game plan perspective, they saw that H-back bootleg action is going to be successful. I'm sure they'd love to throw the ball to Coyne. Haven't necessarily needed it yet, and the weather just makes it a little tougher.
Dusler, the back in the backfield. Fromberg will throw a little bubble screen this time. It's complete, and they'll go from the 35 near the 30. That pass caught by Michael Wykowski.
That's the first time we've heard Wykowski's name, too, and that's got to be at least the 6th time they've run that tunnel screen or some variation of it. So I don't know if they're setting something up off it. Sometimes Ohio State will run that bubble really, really effectively, and they'll run a bubble and go, but we'll see. This is one of the bigger plays this offense has had this half so far, with 3rd and medium, kind of an in-between spot. Really need to try and get this first down.
Need to get to the 25. Fromberg's going to roll, look to throw over the middle, had an open receiver, and he just had to dump it at the end. And they'll say Dominic Wade was out of bounds.
Well, I don't know about that. I thought he caught it.
Take a look.
Timeout on the field, injury.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to see it with that angle with the Spartan team in the shot. So there is a Titan down near the Spartan sideline. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, 6:07 left, opening half. Case Western Reserve 14, Westminster 6.
Have you heard the news that Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards? Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Spartans looking at a 4th down and 5.
And I think they're going to be going for it. Looks like the offense is getting ready for that.
Josh Elm, the Titan defensive lineman, being helped off the field. He's got a long walk for a guy who's got a bum leg right now. He's got to go from one sideline to the other. There's a beautiful look at a very nice fall setting. The trees starting to turn here in northeastern Ohio at DeSanto Field. And Coach Debelak, high energy. His metabolism, I don't think, ever stops.
You know, and I've never actually seen him work out. I know he does. I know he's active. It's just he's running on football 24 hours a day. So just really a pillar of the Case Western program at this point. And it's games like these, tough opponent, tough weather. That's why he's been successful. He's able to get his team to focus in and really nail down the task at hand.
Well, they need to nail down a 4th and long. Fromberg's going to throw it over the middle, and it's incomplete. But he really didn't have anybody open.
That was good defense.
For a second, it looked like he had a seam to run it, but that closed pretty quickly, and Alex was forced to throw it.
It did. That's a good play. That's, you know, this Westminster defense has tightened up here in a little bit. You see Bryce Butler coming down from the free safety position, able to make a good play on the ball. And it's a couple drives in a row. The Case offense hasn't really had the success they did early on. Haven't seen them go back to that H-back, the tight end wheel route that they ran so successfully earlier in the game. And Westminster's hanging around. Again, they get the ball to start the second half. If they're able to get on the scoreboard here, that can really build momentum for them.
Westminster's only touchdown today was a big one, 31 yards on a 4th and 6. McGowan to Tate Michi, and that was set up by a fumbled punt by the Spartans. Other than that, the offense hasn't really done a whole lot against this Spartan defense.
No, it's been nothing. It's been nothing. Some of that's field position, but Spartans defense has done a really good job of locking it down.
Working quickly. Gomes again, trying to get to the 35. He does. He'll pick up maybe 2 more yards, but it'll be 3rd and 5. Ryan Gomes, the 5th-year running back, PAC Conference Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and Mr. Gomes met Sean Torres there in the hole. He did a great job. Looked like there's maybe a little seam opening up, and don't hear as much about the inside linebackers for Case, but they're excellent as well. Trock and Torres have been there for a couple years now, and again, we think about just the overall depth. These guys keep rolling out studs at the linebacker position.
R.J. Ayers has checked into the game. He's the down lineman over the center. R.J.'s over the football right now. You got Tong. He'll rush. McGowan to throw. It was Ayers that swung and missed, and McGowan throws it out of bounds. Try to bring it back in. Couldn't quite make it happen, and it will be 4th down.
Yeah, McGowan, he's a good athlete. We saw it, probably the one designed run. He was able to get out, looked like a good natural runner, able to extend it there. That's a tough catch and a tough play. So looks like Westminster will send the punt team back out there. Coach Deb's going to have just under 5 minutes here to operate and see if he can send his team into the half with points.
Yeah, a lot of time. Westminster will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. This is Yoder. Call for the fair catch at the 26, and that was a great punt. Outstanding punt by Greg Sonson.
Great kick, and Spartans offense got 75 yards, called 4.5 minutes. Again, the past couple drives, Westminster's done a great job of locking it down. And
so what's been the difference? I mean, what's changed?
It sounds simple, the energy. Energy looks better. Now, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not smart enough to notice and pick up on the fly here, but just from purely an energy and a mindset perspective, they've looked a lot more engaged, a lot more physical, and as we've said throughout, they're tough and physical athletes out there. So that's finally started to shine, and I think if Fromberg's able to get the offense going, it'll be because they get back to the passing game.
Bryce Hodge has checked in. He's wide out to the left. This is Dusler on the handoff. Gage with positive yards, and Dusler, the junior, picks up 11.
Just like I said, do it on the ground. Exactly. So that's probably Dusler's best run of the game, and Coach Debs, as we've talked to him throughout the season, he really wants the running game to get going, not only just in general, but also at the running back position.
Fromberg will throw it. Pass complete to Dahlem. There's a penalty flag down, and that came from the back judge.
And that'll be a hold.
So Ethan picked up 12, but we got a feeling it's all coming back.
Sometimes when there's big running lanes like
Holding.
that, there's a reason.
Offense. Number 0. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you should at least get the number right. We don't have a 0, do we, Ron?
We do not have a 0.
Gonna call it. We got to get the number.
Might have been Dominic Wade. He's 30. He's the only guy out in that formation blocking that has a 0 on his jersey.
So that's going to be, it's 10 yards from the end of the run, I believe. That's why it's only, instead of being 1st and 20, it's 1st and 11 for the Spartans.
That's Dahlem in motion. And this is Fromberg with a football. Alex over the middle, and it's behind Noah Coyne. Noah had room to catch and run. And with the 6'4" long legs, he had some strides in front of him, but the pass was behind him.
Yeah, it was a tough catch. Just a little disconnect. That's the first time we've called Coyne's name, this afternoon, and I don't think it'll be the last. He'd be a good one to get involved here. Him and Wykowski are two longer, taller targets out on the outside for Fromberg, and it's difficult. It looks like the rain's letting up a little bit. It's been a pretty consistent miss throughout, but at this point, should have a good feel for it. Should have an idea of what's possible and what might be a little more difficult today.
Wykowski wide to the left, Coyne wide to the right. Coyne 6'4", Wykowski 6'1". Fromberg to throw, throws to the back out of the backfield. It's Dusler. Gage gets near the first down marker. They'll call him out at the 43. He'll be just 2 yards short, so it's a big pickup. Picked up 9.
Yeah, and on that play, Coach Debelak was betting that Dusler was faster than Walt Phillips, number 5, the linebacker for Westminster. So that was a one-read play. Running back sprint out into the short side and able to pick up good yardage. This is another big play. So Case's been struggling a little bit on 3rd down here. Call it 3rd and 3. And we're ticking down, getting closer to 3 minutes left. Coach Debs would really like to get points on the board here as they go into half.
Play clock's at 6 seconds, and the Spartans don't look anywhere near calling the play. So they're going to call the timeout. We'll take
Timeout,
1-2.
Case Western.
3:11 left in the opening half. It's 14-6, Case Western Reserve.
Have you heard the news? The Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Homecoming weekend at DeSanto Field. Andrew Rossman, my partner in the booth, proud graduate of Case Western Reserve University, football player, baseball player. Got dinner plans tonight with some friends who were Spartans?
I might. We'll see.
This is Dusler on the 3rd and 3, and Gage is going to get the first down. I think.
Let's see. Probably warrants a measure. See if we can get the clock stopped to measure here, or just take it forward.
He might be a little short. They will not move the chains.
You got to at least measure it.
I am not sure that he got a very good mark, and I think some of the fans in the stands agree. These people are under the roof here at DeSanto Field, and there isn't much roof room. You can see it now in the shot. So I got here probably at, I don't know, 10:45 for a 2 o'clock game because I was on campus already doing something with the softball program. And there were already people, Andrew, that were marking their spots underneath that roof on a rainy day.
Big day.
Yeah. And there's the push play.
And he got that one. God, it makes me nervous when you got a running back taking a snap like that. But they got it. Got it done. You count that as a quarterback snap for Sean Michael James?
You know what? Why not?
Now looking, just tidying up the clock. When they snap the ball on this next play, it's going to be under 2 minutes. Casey got 1 timeout left. Westminster with 2 timeouts. Not really relevant. They're happy to let Case run it down here.
1:56 and counting. This is Fromberg. He'll get the snap. Alex with time. Now time's running out. He's going to backpedal and just fire it into his Spartan bench.
Yep. Live to fight another day. So that'll stop the clock. Minute 45. We're going to have 2nd and 10 here. If we're looking to kick a field goal, I'd say you'd like to get to the 20, 25-yard line, maybe also doable, but it all goes away if you find the end zone.
Well, Petruzzi is their place kicker, and he's 1 of 3 so far in field goal attempts this year. Actually, Joseph Rhodes, the 5th, also can kick the field goal, and both of them are about the same distance-wise. They're both around, longs of, Petruzzi's is 38 and Rhodes is 30. Bromberg, release. That's Coyne. Caught it, lost it. Good defensive play. Boy, good recovery that time.
And that's going to be a flag. There you go. You make the great play. You don't need to tell people about it.
That penalty is going to be on Kevin Wright. He made a real nice recovery play as a defensive back. We'll see it here in this replay.
Great play. You don't need to do it. You don't need to tell them.
After the play was over, dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, that's big because Spartans were going to be facing a 3rd and 10. And now they've got a 1st and 10, and they're all the way down to the 38-yard line. Minute 36 left on the first half clock. This is Fromberg. Alex over the middle, and Dahlem can't bring it in.
Man, Walt Phillips has had probably 5 plays like that. Call him heavy-handed. There's certain guys, no matter what their height and weight is, when they hit you, you bounce. You bounce off, and Phillips has had a great first half so far.
As inflow or together as that Spartan offense looked in the first 3 drives of this football game, they have not really looked that way since.
No, and it's come when they started to go into more traditional drop back and try and push it down the field. That's where they've struggled so far.
Fromberg steps up, and that one is complete, and complete inside the 30, and that's Noah Coyne with his first catch of the day.
There he is. See if we can get him going a little bit.
Spartans need a yard. And they'll get it as Fromberg completes the pass in front of his own bench, and that's Alec Angelo.
And Fromberg's done a good job. He's been spreading it around. Definitely multiple receivers getting involved so far. This is where it can get fun when you have an athlete like Fromberg. As we see, they're going to snap the ball. There's going to be 1 minute and 8 left. Westminster probably playing coverage here. So should be some good opportunities. Get him out of the pocket. He'll have some run-pass options as he goes.
Dusler will run it. Gage from the 25 gets to the 23. And the clock's at 1 minute and counting.
Yep, going to go hurry up here.
Spartans have 1 timeout left. Fromberg will throw. Left sideline. Coyne tries to come back. Almost got it. He almost stepped in front of the defender, Kevin Wright, who had great coverage. And he almost pulled off a catch.
Yeah, him and Kevin Wright and Coyne are having some fun together down there. 2 big guys. Wright, 6'2", as a corner, is really good size. Coyne at 6'4", so it's clear they kind of want to mirror their big guy with big guy there. And I mean, Fromberg, probably 2 or 3 times a game, that's a smart idea. Just throw up the coin, see if he can make a play for you.
3rd and 9. Balls at the 24. Fromberg to throw. Now he's going to run. And Alex inside the 20. Needed to get to the 15. He'll be short of that. And the Spartans will call their final timeout. 37
Timeout, Case Western. Their third
seconds left
and
in this
final
first half.
timeout of the half.
And this is interesting. There's a couple things Coach Debs will think about here. One of them being how well his defense has played. So he knows Westminster's going to get the ball to start the second half. Outside of when they were given a kind of a free show with the fumble on the punt return. Other than that, Spartans' defense has been excellent throughout. So consider that. You consider how solid is your field goal kicking team. It looks like he's going to opt for the points here. If you want to be a winning ball club, you need to be able to convert field goals from this distance anyway.
So it's 4th down and 3. Spartans would need to get the football to about the 15.
Now, something you can do here, and it takes a well-coached, disciplined football team. I would go on 2 for the snap count. Okay, so it's 4th and short enough, and an offsides penalty will get you the first down. It's sometimes tough with the field goal team. A lot of it's rhythm. It's tough to go on 2. And maybe see if you can draw them off here and then kick the field goal and take the points.
This is Rhodes for what would be a 34-yard field goal attempt. And Joseph Rhodes, the 5th.
Wow.
And it's right down the middle. Joseph Rhodes from 34 yards puts the Spartans up 17-6 with 33 seconds left to play in this opening half. We'll take this timeout.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4 Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Ron Yance, Andrew Rossman along with you from DeSanto Field, home of the Case Western Reserve University Spartans. It's Spartans 17, the Titans of Westminster 6. Joseph Rhodes, the 5th, kicked that 34-yard field goal. I met Joseph Rhodes, the 4th, before the game today. Joe's father. They're in town from California. They live all the way out near Los Angeles. Titans on the return.
Oh,
And
yeah.
big time hit at the 30-yard line. We can see if we can get the number on that Spartan that made that hit.
That's our guy, Osi, number 4. Get a replay here. Hold him up. Boom.
Yep.
Nice. Good hit, Osi.
Yeah, I was talking to Joseph Rhodes the 4th, and I said to him, do you guys know the history of the OG, meaning Joseph Rhodes the 1st? Because if you've gotten to the 5th, that's deep, right? I mean, you got to go back a long way to get to the original.
Did you get an answer?
They did not. The family doesn't know because along the way, the 2nd Joseph Rhodes passed away early in his life when his son, Joseph Rhodes the 3rd, was in high school. So they kind of lost track of some family history there with that early passing of the 2nd Joseph Rhodes. You know, there's another as we go to halftime here, and I've got one more story to tell. It's 17-6 as the Spartans celebrate a commanding first-half lead. Warren Miller, the defensive coordinator, who you know well, is the 4th.
Yeah.
And his son is number 5.
Yep.
So there's a couple of those going on in the Spartan football.
Yep.
I just think that's neat. 5-5, and kind of fun. All right, we're going to take a timeout. Long extended halftime. It's homecoming. Lots of great on-field activity. We will bring it all to you, and it's a happy day if you're a Spartans, at least so far. 17-6, Case Western Reserve over Westminster at halftime.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4 Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
Good afternoon, Spartan fans, and welcome to today's Spartan Marching Band Homecoming Halftime Show. Today's show is an ode to that twisting river through the land, the Cuyahoga. This river helped build the city of Cleveland when it was incorporated in 1836. By acting as a connecting waterway between Great Lakes and the steel industry, the Cuyahoga quickly became a major hub of economic growth. We begin our ode to the Cuyahoga with a riverine song by Duran Duran. Here is Rio. But alas, as industry grew and little attention was paid to the natural splendor of the Cuyahoga, the water became more and more polluted over time. One could even call the water toxic. What do the years 1868, 1883, 1887, 1912, 1922, 1936, 1941, 1948, 1952, and 1969 all have in common? No, those are not the years of CWRU football national championships. Those are the years the Cuyahoga River caught fire due to the constant pollution and neglect. These fires acted as the impetus for the Richard Nixon presidential administration to create the Environmental Protection Agency, thus solving the pollution problem forever. I'm just kidding. To this day, the Cuyahoga still regularly catches on fire due to pollution. Well, anyway, here's Fire by Jimi Hendrix.
And now for a special halftime performance, here's the CWRU dance team. And now the Case Western Reserve University cheerleaders. Let's hear it again for the cheer team. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please direct your attention to the 50-yard line as we recognize the winners and royalty for the 2023 Case Western Reserve University Homecoming Weekend. First, the fastest runners in today's Stephanie Tubbs Jones 5K race, sponsored by the Department of Student Activities and Leadership and the Department of Physical Education and Athletics. The men's winner, with a time of 19 minutes 47 seconds, is Evan Holtzmeyer. And the women's winner, with a time of 24 minutes and 59 seconds, Milana Newby. And thank you again to all of our participants in today's race, which raised over $1,000 for the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Scholarship. Next are the winners of the Sparty Awards. Here to present the Sparty Awards, please welcome to the field President of Case Western Reserve University, Eric Kaler. Peter Whiting, the Interim Vice President for Student Affairs, and James C. Wyant, Director of Athletics, TJ Shelton. The most spirited member of the cheerleading team is Janine Longo. The most spirited member of the dance team is Allie Hay. The most spirited member of the marching band is Alana Jackson. And the most spirited fan at today's game is Julie Jo James. Let's hear it again for the Sparty Awards recipients. And now for the announcement of the homecoming court. Vivek Oslot. Cameron Goodwin Schoen. Viraj Gorthy. Jermaine Harvey. Sedona Jolly. Vian Lee. Anjali Raju. Sara Rumaya. Milana Sacco. And Bazul Yassin. And now, President Kaler and Peter Whiting will crown the 2023 Homecoming Court winners. Your 2023 Homecoming Court winners are Jermaine Harvey, Sedona Jolly, and Vian Lee. Congratulations to our 2023 Homecoming Court winners and the entire Homecoming Court. And once again, happy homecoming to all in attendance today.
Seventeen to 6, your halftime score. Case Western Reserve University over Westminster at halftime at DeSanto Field on the campus of Case Western Reserve University. It's been a great homecoming weekend so far. Lots of activities this morning on and around campus. And, of course, the football game, the big draw for the afternoon, and then plenty of activities planned for tonight. And I'm with an alum here of Case Western Reserve. My partner in the broadcast booth, Andrew Rossman. My name's Ron Yance. It is 17-6 Spartans. And, Andrew, when I look at that first half, I know that the Spartans have scored 17 points, but I look at it from a defensive perspective, and the defense for Case Western Reserve was dominating, and it shows up statistically.
Yeah, so Westminster, they, for 2 quarters of football, and this is a good football team on the other side, only 60 yards of total offense. Now, you might say, they've got 60 yards, Case Western over 230 and a half. It's only 17-6. How's that happen? Turnovers. So turnovers are always a great equalizer. Westminster able to force 2 fumbles from the Spartans defense. Now they gave 1 back with an interception, but overall we saw in that second quarter, Westminster's defense really tightened up, only gave up 3 points after giving up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Case Western Reserve came into this game with a plan, or at least a hope, and that was to establish a running game. They have nearly 100 yards rushing in the first half, 90 yards total on 16 carries. So that's a good thing. But, you know, one of the downsides of that, the story of rushing yards continues to be the same, and that's most of the production comes from their quarterback spot. Fromberg had 55 yards rushing in that opening half on 7 carries, and they'd really like to see that flip. They'd like to see either Dusler or Lim, their 2 running backs, picking up the load at least total yards-wise.
Yeah, and it's not a production thing. Fromberg's more than capable of it, but think about we're already on backup quarterback number 1, not a ton of depth left. So just from a injury prevention standpoint, you want to maybe protect Fromberg a little more than they have. Dusler's been effective when they've gone to him. I think the offensive line has played a really solid game so far. And yeah, I would expect in the second half, Coach Stebbs, especially with the weather, having the lead, I'd expect him to go ahead and try and solidify the run game.
The scoring went like this in the first quarter with 11 minutes left in that first quarter. So early in that first quarter, Gage Dusler scored on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Alex Fromberg. Gage caught it out of the backfield, took it the rest of the way himself, and then Petruzzi added a point after touchdown, and it was 7-0 Spartans with 11 minutes left in the first half. Dominic Wade had a 30-yard touchdown pass that he got from Fromberg in the first quarter to late, and that led to a 14-0 lead. And then the one and only really play offensively for Westminster in that first half was McGowan, their quarterback, went to Tate Michi in a beautifully run play. Great pattern, great route, caught in stride on a perfect pass. Michi went 31 yards for the touchdown. They missed the extra point, and that left it 14-6. And then just before the half, 33 seconds left to play in the first half, Joseph Rhodes, the 5th for Case Western Reserve, hit a 34-yard field goal. And that gave the Spartans a 17-6 lead, and that's where we stand right now as Westminster is set to take the second half kickoff. So they will start on offense, and I'm certain that their plan, at least step 1 here in the second half, is to sustain a drive and get
the
points.
Spartans' Graham Sword to kick off as begin the second half. Elijah Grayer.
And that's Grayer,
Lau,
who will receive it at the
return.
6-yard line. Grayer's up to the 24, and Westminster will come out on offense. Westminster in that first half had only 3 first downs. They rushed the football 12 times for 27 yards. They threw it 14 times, completed only 5. And their total offense in that first half, 60 yards.
Yeah, and it's strange. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback first half. He's got 33 yards passing and a long of 31. Okay, so obviously pretty limited through the air. McGowan was able to complete that 1 long touchdown pass, like we said, but they're going to have to get something going on the ground if they want to be successful.
Gomes breaks it outside. He's going to pick up 2, but it's coming back. There's a penalty flag, and it's a hold on Westminster.
Offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, and Gomes, like we mentioned earlier, 2022 PAC Offensive Player of the Year. First half, 9 rushes, only gained 21 yards, average of 2 per carry. That's really, really below what we'd expect from him. And a lot of it, it's not necessarily his fault. He's getting hit at the line, behind the line even sometimes. And all credit to the Spartans' defense. They've made life miserable for that Westminster offensive line.
Holding was on Braden Micah, the left tackle for Westminster. So it's first down now 20. Ball's at the 14 for the Titans. Here comes the blitz for the Spartans. Blocked well, screen underneath, but Sakalo comes up and absolutely smokes Jalen Royal Island.
Yeah, and the play before, Sakalo also made a great open field hit on Gomes, and here he comes, and boom. Nice.
Nathan hit him high, wrapped him tight.
Good play. That's
Look
called.
at Sakalo, the safety. As a freshman, he started at linebacker because the Spartan defensive staff couldn't keep him off the field. Linebacker wasn't his position, but they needed a linebacker, and they said, this freshman is so good we can't keep him off the field. Safety's his natural spot.
Yeah, he looked great on that play coming downhill.
Gomes on a second and real long. Gomes breaking a couple of tackles. Going to get a couple of yards up to the 17-yard line. Bouncing off people on that run.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. He is not big. A lot of times it takes more than one guy to get him down. First guy will miss, and that's one of the successful traits of this Spartans defense. Is it's never just one guy making a one-on-one tackle, unless it's Mr. Sakalo getting guys down like we had on the previous play. It's usually a group of them coming, and when you do that, and you do it consistently and aggressively, you end up with 3rd and long like they have now.
Jordan Lowe now in the backfield. You see him in the shot with the quarterback, but this is a passing play. McGowan will roll right. He'll throw it. Pass is complete, but it's going to be 13 yards short of a first down. So that defense holds for the Spartans on the opening drive for the Titans.
Good start. Good start. It's a lot of what we saw in the first half. Again, really only one play for Westminster, and it seems like every drive it's a different guy for the Spartans defense. 1-2 different guys showing up, and again, at all 3 levels, defensive line, linebacker, and defensive backfield, they've been really, really strong today, especially on the tackling front.
Yoder back at his own 45, and he'll receive this punt from the Titans. And TJ calls for a fair catch and fumbled it again. That's Yoder's 2nd fumble on the afternoon. This time, though, recovered by one of his teammates.
Whew. That was lucky. There was about 5 Westminster guys, only 1 Spartan. And you only needed 1.
You're exactly right. There were 5 Titans there and 1 Spartan.
And it's tough. It's tough when there's rain getting in your eyeballs. It's tough when it's kind of a knuckleball punt like that one was. So, tough day for Yoder. We'll see if he gets back out there. And sometimes it just takes getting 1 under your belt, and then you get the confidence back.
Fromberg and that Spartan offense, 233 yards in total offense in that first half. It was definitely fun to watch. They had 10 first downs, 90 rushing yards.
Yeah, I think my favorite stat is you look at the 2 longest pass plays. You had Dominic Wade, fullback, 31 yards. Sean Michael James, fullback, 32 yards.
Right.
So when each of your fullback H-backs have over a 30-yard reception, it makes you look twice, but they really found a wrinkle, and they went away from it in the second quarter. I don't know if that's because they didn't want to overuse it, but we'll see if they get back to it here in the second half. They had a lot of success with both of those guys leaking out.
Well, you didn't mention Noah Coyne's name on the receiving end or Michael Wykowski's, and that's because the stats they don't have Coyne with a catch.
Yeah, he's got one.
I thought he had one.
Him and
Wykowski
Wykowski both have one. Yeah, it's 1 catch each.
But it's
During
limited.
the kick, inadvertent whistle. We'll replay the down.
Oh, that doesn't seem necessary.
So they're going to punt it again.
They'll punt it again.
So Yoder's coming right back out. He's going to get that shot at redemption that you mentioned, and he's going to get it sooner than expected, although Yoder's not coming back out.
Nope. Sometimes you got to rotate it through.
They are going to bring out another punt returner, and it's Bo Wolf. Wolf, a first-year player out of Bolivar, Ohio, went to high school at Tuscarawas Valley.
You nailed that pronunciation. I can't say that word.
Tuscarawas?
I can't do it. Yeah, and I'm not really sure why they're replaying it. I mean, I understand there might have been a whistle. We couldn't tell that it impacted the play at all. So, oh well, we'll see. Run it back. See if we can catch this one and get some better field position.
Boy, this session, whatever you want to call it, time span right here, has taken at least 15 minutes. And they're still not ready to go. All right, there's the whistle.
Now we're ready to play.
Wolf catches it at the 43, and that's where the Spartans will have the football. Maybe. There's another penalty flag down.
Someone's going to get it. Someone had unnecessary roughness.
Well, Nathan Sacalo's got his hands out like, what, me?
During return, holding. Return team, number 16.
That's Sacalo.
10-yard penalty, first down, Case wins.
Love watching Nathan play.
Aggressive.
He's, high energy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's good. That's what makes him good.
His motor doesn't stop.
Good DB, good linebacker, or good DB and good linebacker, like we said. He's played both and been successful with both.
So we're still not ready to start this offensive series.
I am begging them to run a play. I need the football. There we go.
Let's do this.
Okay, start of the second half for the offense.
Fromberg and Dusler, as usual, in that backfield for the Spartans. Quick throw. Dahlem across the 40 and brought down at the 41-yard line by Walt Phillips.
Yeah, and I wonder, the amount of times they've run that, I wonder if there's a check where they look on the outside, and if they have 3 wide receivers and the numbers don't line up for the defense, that's an automatic throw. Because they've thrown, it's got to be the 7th or 8th time, that quick screen out into the 3 wide receiver side. So it's been successful. Again, it's kind of like a run play, get you 5-6 yards, get you moving.
Second down 4. Dusler breaks the defense near midfield, engage inside Titan territory. Brought down at the 49.
That was good. That was kind of the sync up you see maybe at the top of the screen. So Westminster brought 2 blitzing linebackers, and when you run it up the middle, if you get through the first line, then first line of defense, there's usually not much left behind it.
Dusler again, pushing the pile. Gage still churning those legs. He's down at the 45-yard line.
Okay, so clear from the beginning. 2 out of 3 plays to start the second half here. Coach Dabb's going to Dusler, seeing if he can get that run game going at the running back level.
Dusler in the first half on the ground, carried the football 5 times, 21 yards. I am sure he'd like to get it 10 times in this second half.
Oh, yeah.
2 on this drive. That's Coyne in motion. Comes the outside blitz. Fromberg going to run away from it.
Nice.
Finds a receiver. And open on the far sideline. And
throw another 15
thrown out
on.
of bounds was Wykowski. And there is a penalty flag down.
Well, they say DBs, defensive backfields, you always want to have a brotherhood back there. Now both their corners pick up a 15-yard flag. So, and toss.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit. Defense, number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Cordy Williams, and that was well out of bounds.
Correction, half the distance to the goal.
Okay.
That is a big penalty. So the Spartans will have the football on the 17 of Westminster.
Yeah, now they're moving. This is a big, big drive. Again, second quarter, I'd say Westminster defense had the upper hand on the Spartan offense. It's a good chance to kind of flip that script and get back to the scoring ways.
Wykowski and Coyne, the 2 receivers split left and right. Ball's at the 17. This is Fromberg. There's a penalty flag already down. Alex going to throw all the way across the field. And that one's going to go in for a touchdown, but I believe it's all coming back.
Yep, so the receiver at the bottom, Noah Coyne, did not get set. So they will probably call illegal shift or motion.
It was Dominic Wade, and that was just a mirror image play of a touchdown in the, or actually a play that did not
illegal
go
motion,
for a touchdown.
Offense, number 14.
And
5-yard penalty.
Andrew, you were
first
exactly
down.
right.
Yeah, it's a shame. That's that tight end throwback. So now Dominic Wade probably should have 2 separate touchdowns.
Right, he should.
On that exact play, and he's going to come away with nothing. But good play, good throw. It's nice to see Fromberg airing it out. It's starting to rain a little heavier than it did in the first half, so we'll see if they lean back on the run game here.
Ball's now down at the 22. 1st and 15. Over the middle, pass caught at the 10, and down to the 5 is Wykowski.
That was a great play. Wykowski's had a couple of pretty good catches today. Another one of those kind of long limb, long leg wide receivers, him and Coyne out there. See Fromberg stick in the pocket, a little bit of happy feet, still able to complete the pass to Wykowski and keep the chains moving.
First and goal, ball's at the 6. Spartans with 2 touchdowns and a field goal already in this football game. They'd love to make it 24-6. Fromberg looking right, and at the feet of Gage Dusler at the 3-yard line.
Okay, so it gets a little tougher. All the bodies compressed down in the red zone, a little more difficult as the rain picks up here. You said in the first half, maybe some of the most important people on the field are the grounds crew.
Yep.
The people in charge of keeping the footballs dry out there, and we'll see. This is a situation where you really got to be able to lean on your offensive line and be able to run the football when it gets like this.
So Nurek and Wykowski, 2 wide receivers, are out for this play on the sidelines.
Yeah, they're going to have to take a timeout.
And we'll take one, too. 9:21
Timeout,
left to play
Western,
in
the
the
first
third
timeout of
quarter.
the half.
Spartans up 17-6.
Four Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
The wind really hasn't picked up yet. Coach Debelak and I were standing in the end zone that the Spartans are heading to right now, pregame. And he talked about he expected the wind to grow as the game went on. And as we were standing there, it picked up. But as you could see with that flag shot that Michael Becker and his crew just gave us coming out of that commercial break, at least at this moment, there is no wind to speak of.
Yep, so second down, probably okay with a field goal. It's certainly not what you're going for here. So call they got 2 chances of try and get in the end zone here, find a touchdown.
Coyne in motion. Fromberg going to roll right, throw right. That's Dusler, and Gage is in for his second touchdown of the afternoon.
Great play. Best pass plays they've had all day have been on that bootleg action, whether it's the throwback, one of the backs out in the flat, and like you said, Dusler able to find the end zone for the second time today. Neither of them on the ground. So your running back getting involved in the pass game, that's a great, great weapon for Coach Debelak in this offense.
You know, talking to Debs this week about his running game, and we mentioned it in the first half, he said, I can't keep Gage off the field, though, even if we're not getting positive yards running, because he just does so many other things well, and catching the football, as you see, is one of those. That's Dusler, number 2, and his second touchdown. Point after touchdown is up, and it is good. 3 for 3 for Gabriel Petrozzi. So with 9:14 left to play, third quarter, the Spartans take their first drive of the second half, and they score 7 on it. It's 21-6, 24-6. We'll be back.
Have you heard the news? The Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive Four Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
This is the 7th time that the Spartans have played the Titans in their overall history. Case Western Reserve University won the first 4. Westminster has won the last 2. They won in 2021, 34-12, here at the Santo Field. And then they won a year ago at their home at Westminster, 14-13. So the Spartans are trying to snap that streak. And Titans will have the football at about the 23-yard line.
Yeah, the last 2 times this Westminster team has really come out and brought it to case. That 2021 score, that was maybe Westminster's probably one of their better teams. They actually had a really good team the COVID year and kind of got robbed of one of their better seasons. But yeah, like you said, the first 4 matchups, Case really took it to them. 2016 was probably one of the best games you'll ever see. Westminster was going in for the go-ahead touchdown at the end of the game and fumbled it on the 2-inch line, and Case was able to recover it. So some good games in the history, and looks like Case may have a good chance to get back on top here this year.
This is Gomes off a pitch. Gomes tucks his head and dives forward for a pickup of almost 5. They'll mark him down at the 30-yard line. That 2016 game was 26-22 the final, so that fumble at the goal line would have been the game winner.
That's crazy. I think you can find the highlights somewhere on YouTube. I think Justin McMahon either forced the fumble or recovered it. But, Justin, if you're listening out there, thank you. Great play. That was a great win to keep that season going.
2nd and 5. It'll be Gomes again, other side. And he'll get the first down and more. Ryan Gomes down at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, that's definitely the best 2-play stretch that maybe the offense has had outside of their touchdown. So looking to get Gomes going there. In the first half, only had 21 yards on 9 carries. He's got caught 12, 13 yards on 2 carries there alone. So we'll see. It's tough when your offense is so predicated on one player in your run game and you're down 18 points like this. It can make it really restrictive from a play calling perspective.
Gomes from Walter Sickles High School in Tampa, Florida, will get it for the 3rd straight play, and this time, for the moment, the Spartans have stopped him. He'll lose a yard.
Yeah, and we'll see. It's going to be tough for this Westminster offense. I mean, in the first half, we saw McGowan really struggle at the quarterback position to really get much of anything going in the passing game. Let's see. Are they switching quarterbacks? He's just getting a play call from the sideline there. So Case defense, again, we see Dominic Size coming up. We haven't called his name a ton. A lot of that's because the front seven's pretty much scooped up everything that they can. He does have...
Called it once.
Yeah, we called it once, and it was a big one for his 5th interception on the year.
5th. One D-back to another D-back. My partner, Andrew Rossman. McGowan to throw. And behind his slot back coming out of the backfield, that was Jordan Lowe reaching back, couldn't bring it in.
Well, I would say if you're curious on how to play the defensive back position, you should ask Mr. Size instead of the person sitting in the booth. One is clearly more talented, more successful than the other one, but he's been really, really good. Think about the defensive backs. We haven't called Osie's name a whole heck of a lot today. He had a big hit on kickoff. Sakala's had a couple great open field tackles throughout. DJ Wolf been really good as always, and then Size rounded out. That's a great four-headed monster there in the backfield for the Spartans defense.
Defensive front and the linebackers pinching up tight on 3rd and 11. McGowan to throw, going to get flushed. Left-hander will tuck it. He's going to run, and he runs out of bounds at the 43-yard line. He's 6 yards short of a first down.
Yeah, and we see Mr. Caden Tong really, really trying, pushing the pocket. He's such a good athlete, especially at his size. Looking at him, last week, 2 sacks against St. Vincent, 7 sacks on the season. He's got a really good number, 21.5 sacks over his career. That is 7th most in program history. He's 1 away from moving up to 6th. I would very easily assume that he will move up that chart here shortly in the next few weeks.
It's Wolf again, set to return the punt. Punt was nearly blocked. It lands at the 30 and takes a Spartan reverse bounce and is marked down at the 37-yard line. So 6:39 left to play, 3rd quarter. The Spartans going to get the football back for the 2nd time this quarter, and they lead 24-6. Grove City, top team in the President's Athletic Conference. 6 wins in 6 games. They're 6-0. Andrew, who's Grove City playing today?
Grove City's playing Allegheny. I will get us a score here in 1 second.
Allegheny 2-4 coming into today, and Allegheny is the last home game of the season for your Spartans of Case Western Reserve. They'll play Allegheny on Senior Day on November 4th.
And that game, Grove City at Allegheny, just kicked off at 4 o'clock, so just getting going over there.
Dusler Handoff in the backfield. Gage gets up to the nearly 41-yard line. He'll pick up 3. Dusler had the touchdown on the last drive, caught a 7-yard pass from his quarterback and took it in. Gage has 2 touchdowns in today's game.
Take him any way you can get him. Yeah, just maybe wrapping up some of the other stuff in the PAC as you think about Case and any chance that they have looking for playing in the postseason. So PAC's typically only a 1-bid league. Usually get the conference champ, get that automatic bid. With having lost to Grove City, they'll need Grove City to lose twice, plus Case will need to win out. So not impossible, probably going to be difficult given who Grove City's got left, but step 1 is taking care of business here today against Westminster.
That's Dusler again. He gets maybe a yard. I talked to Coach Debs about that scenario this week. If they finish 9-1, I said, do you get in the playoff as an at-large bid? He goes, absolutely not. He said the only one that'll get in is whoever wins our conference. And I said, well, what happens if? And he says Grove City's not going to lose because of they've already knocked off the Titans, so to speak, of the conference. And I said, well, what happens if they do lose? I said, if Grove City goes 9-1, you go 9-1. And say somebody else goes 9-1, like W and J couldn't, and neither could Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah, because they all
Case would have beaten them twice.
Yep.
So if you're both 9-1, I said, does anybody get in? And he goes, I don't think so. He said, I don't think they put anybody in. And I said, why? And he said, because it'll come back to strength of schedule. That's an incomplete pass to Coyne on a 3rd and long. Spartans needed 6. They're not going to get any. And I said, what do you mean strength of schedule? He says, all we play are PAC games.
So there's no barometer.
There's no barometer whatsoever. And he said, as coaches throughout the conference, he said, we're not a fan of how that has been set up. Mm-hmm. I thought it was an interesting conversation. He really believed if both teams finished 9-1, neither would make the playoffs.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll see. It's tough. I mean, you think about a 9-1 season would be great. I mean, that's most times it's going to be a successful season. You are, of course, chasing playoff appearances.
And it's a motion penalty on the Spartans, so it'll back them up 5 more yards. 5:06 left to play, third quarter.
21, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Case Western Reserve started the year with a win at Teal, their first shutout of the season, 14-0. Then they lost in a game that Andrew and I did right here at DeSanto Field in overtime. It was a fantastic game against the Grove City team that we're talking about. And Joseph Rhodes, the 5th, with the punt. It is end over end, and it takes a great bounce. Look at that thing. All the way down to the 12-yard line.
He touched it. He touched it. You saw USC try and do that last week. You take the guy on the return team and you try and pick him up and throw him into the ball. So
well, here's a look.
You'll see Mr. Dusler's number 2. He's going to take, I don't think it was number 3. It might have been this other guy here.
13.
2 is going to grab him and try and throw him into the ball and then pick the ball up. Did he touch it?
Comes Gage.
Hey,
he did touch it.
He touched it.
He touched it. You're exactly right.
So, oh well. Defense will go out and go back on the hunt for him.
Ball's at the 12.
There we go. Good play.
Gomes gets absolutely nothing. Punching at that football is that Spartan defensive line, linebacker Sean Torres, number 9.
That Henry Bush. So they pulled an offensive lineman to try and block Bush, and he didn't have any chance there.
Gomes cramping up.
Timeout on the field for injury.
The old cramp. And then, of course, the coach will always turn around and say, it's 55 and raining. How'd you cramp up? Didn't you drink your water? And sometimes you don't have a good answer.
I was going to ask, what's your answer?
Pickle juice. Pickle juice. That's what gets rid of your cramps. Pickle juice and bananas.
Gomes is up. That's a good sign for Westminster. But he's working that cramp out. Spartans next week are right back here at DeSanto Field for another 2 o'clock kick. They'll host Waynesburg. And Waynesburg going into today, still looking for their first win.
Okay, 2nd and long. This is kind of similar situation where in the first half, Case really had all the momentum on both sides, and then fumbled punt return. Westminster's able to bang a touchdown on him. this is where when you're up like this and you have the momentum, you really got to kill it off. Don't give Westminster any hope. Continue to dominate, continue to stay in control.
Pitch play again, this time not to Gomes on 1st and 10. In and running for Ryan is Elijah Greer.
Yeah, and that was number 10, Caden Tong, getting out there and running. Finally, we'll see. We'll call it his first solo tackle for loss today and able to get in the stat book. He's definitely been involved, definitely had other tackles, but that's been maybe the first one where we really see him showcase how long and athletic he is.
3rd and 8. Titans need to get the football to the 22-yard line. Ty McGowan, the left-handed slinger for Westminster. He's got room to run. He'll run it and slide down at the 18-yard line. He'll be 3 yards short of a first down.
I am so glad they didn't call that because that was incidental contact. Everybody's fine.
Andrew is referring to the end of this play.
Slide. We're just going to trip over him. Incidental. Probably didn't feel too good. Everybody's good.
It probably didn't feel good on both McGowan and Dudowski.
No, a helmet to the knee when it's 80 degrees doesn't feel great. When it's 55 and rainy, it really doesn't.
Standing near midfield, that's Wolf. And this punt's going to fall short of midfield and bounce out of bounds at about the, see where they mark it, right on the 50.
Okay. Case offense back out there. Kind of a, I don't know, not much to say for the last drive. It's quick 3 and out. Didn't really move the ball. This will be, thinking about there's 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. You're up 18. Certainly not a game that's out of reach for Westminster, but Case is probably going to look to find some combo of high probability passes, run game, and also quarterback run game. That'll keep the clock moving, keep the chains moving, and hopefully this is something where Case can ride it out and get the win on homecoming.
Well, they're bringing out one of your favorite players, Dominic Wade. Wade is in that little, you call it slot or an H-back position?
H-back. H-back's when they're kind of in that off-the-ball tight end spot there.
He'll block for this pass that sails over the head of Riley Nurick.
And I wonder if that was actually a backward pass, because then it'd be spot the ball where it went out. Looks like they'll call it forward, and that's probably been their most common play today, has been some form of that bubble screen or quick screen out on the edge. As the clock bleeds down, again, this is time for the Case offense. Continue the momentum, continue the confidence. The offensive line has been great today. You know, a lot of times this Westminster team is characterized by big, strong, athletic D linemen, and they haven't done much of anything as far as getting towards Fromberg or other TFLs. And there you go. Perfect.
Go nobody. Yeah,
that's
nowhere.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate the time in there, Westminster.
Andrew jinxed that offensive line. Just flat out jinxed Friedman, Kelly, Merritt, Thivner, and Meyer. You know, those guys that go 255, 260, 250, 285, 265.
Yeah,
What's
been really
your fighting
good.
weight at right now, Andrew?
Not that. Couple less than that.
Couple less than that. 2:20 and counting left to play 3rd quarter. Spartans with a big lead. Ball over the middle, caught, and it's enough for a first down. And all the way down to the 35-yard line is Wykowski.
I think once a game that I do one of these Case games, I think Wykowski has a great contested catch on a slant route like that. That's definitely his go-to route.
Again, this is Dahlem. Ethan forgot the football, and they'll say it's a forward pass. It's incomplete.
It's tough. Hot potato. It's still raining out there, and from the time the ball goes from the center to the quarterback to the wide receiver, it's going through 2-3 seconds of rain, so make it a little more difficult. You see, most of the guys are taking their gloves off. It's in the NFL, when you're big, bad, rich, and famous, they actually have gloves that they almost do a little better in the rain. Mm-hmm. Some of the stick, it reacts to the water and makes it pretty good for those guys. Usually at the college level, you see most of the guys take their gloves off, and bare hands are actually a little better.
Noah Coyne comes out, spread out far to the right. 2:02 left, 3rd quarter. Pass over the middle, in and out of the hands, and intercepted.
Yep. there
Ball
you
got
it.
into the hands of Riley Nurk, slightly behind him. Couldn't bring it in. And Deshaun Elliott picks it off.
Yeah, Nurk's probably the only guy out there that is wearing gloves. It goes right through his hands, tips it up, puts it on a tee for the safety, and that's where I don't love the blind usage of the stat of interceptions for quarterbacks because, I mean, on that, Fromberg makes a good read, good throw, and that'll go down in the book as an interception. So another quick turnover. Hasn't been the best day for the Spartans
really
offense. No, it's 2 fumbles lost, an interception. They got one back, so still to be up 24-6
with
and you're
3 turnovers.
and you're -2 in the turnover battle, that kind of shows you how dominant they've been outside of those.
Yeah, defense has been the ultimate key today for the Spartans. McGowan out of the shotgun. Struggling to find a receiver to throw the football to. Ty's going to pick up 4. Ty McGowan came into today with 23 rushes in 5 games for 93 yards. So it's not like he's Alex Fromberg, who has over 300 yards rushing. But he has shown the ability to run with the football.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done more, whether it's the option game or just design quarterback run. He looks good when he's out there. There's been a couple times he's rolled out in a pass play and been able to take off and get positive yards. So maybe it's something they work in. I'm just not entirely sure they have it in the playbook.
Sophomore from Moon High School in Moon Township, Pennsylvania.
Yep, and there they try and go with the read option, and ball's on the ground. Westminster able to jump on it.
3rd and long. Inside a minute left in this 3rd quarter.
As we come down, I'd say after 3 quarters, unless there's something big happening on this play, Westminster, I believe, will be held under 100 yards through 3 quarters. If not, they're going to be right around it.
McGowan with pressure. He's got room to run, and he'll throw it, and it's incomplete near the Spartan sideline. Good defense that time by DJ Wolf. Wolf, the free safety, the grad student. Seems like DJ has been here forever.
He's a Mentor kid, isn't he? I think he's one of the Mentor guys.
Yes, he is.
Yep, you know what else he is? He's an accountant, too. Smart guy.
Defensive back and an accountant.
World needs more of those, Ron.
My partner, extremely biased, as he is a former defensive back, current accountant.
So we like DJ. DJ's a good kid. But, yeah, like you said, he's been around for, seems like a decade at this point. Been a good player every year he's been out there.
This punt will go unreturned, and the Spartans will have the football at the 28-yard line. Nine seconds left to play in this 3rd quarter. Rain continues here at DeSanto Field on the campus of Case Western Reserve University. Homecoming weekend. This morning I was part of a ring ceremony. I was the MC for the softball program. Coach Josie Henry's team, UAA Association winner a year ago, 38 wins in 43 games. NCAA tournament qualifier.
Yeah, they've been rolling. It's been a couple years in a row. They've been really, really strong.
She likes her freshman class, too.
Yeah, good. Yep. Keep it going. Put another banner up.
It was an alumni day over at Mather Field, and they actually played a couple innings at 10 o'clock.
Did they?
That wraps up the 3rd quarter. We'll take a 3rd quarter break. When we come back, one more left to play on homecoming Saturday from Case Western Reserve University. It's 24.
Have you heard the news? That Intercontinental Cleveland has earned its 10th consecutive 4-Diamond Award from AAA in recognition of its high-quality accommodations and exceptional service standards. Planning an important event like a corporate meeting, annual conference, fundraising gala, holiday party, or highly personalized wedding? Choose excellence in the Intercontinental Cleveland. Our planning professionals will take time to consider every detail and lead you through an experience which is proudly world-class. Call us today at 216-707-4100 for more details or to request a tour of our spectacular accommodations.
You know, this was a 2 o'clock game today, and about, I don't know, noon, they turned the lights on, and they needed to turn the lights on. It's been a dark, cloudy northeastern Ohio day.
It's beautiful. It's
Love
exactly what I would want it to be.
Yeah.
I think it's going to continue tomorrow, too. That's weather like this is just about the only chance that the local NFL team is going to have at winning, but that is a problem for tomorrow, not today.
2nd and 8, Spartans, first play of the fourth quarter. And that's in and out of the hands of the tight end. It's the first pass he's dropped today. Dominic Wade.
Yeah, he's been good. He's had
a lot of throws.
He's had 3 catches, 64 yards. Yards after catch, 42 yards. Just cleaning up some other stats from first 3 quarters of the game. Westminster, 97 yards of offense. So great showing so far from the Case Western defense. Got to finish strong. Spartans offense, conversely, 310 yards. They do have those 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and an interception. But at the end of the day, they're up 18 points. Coach Debs and everybody else would take that any day of the week as you get into the fourth quarter.
Fromberg going to run right away. Needs 8. Dives for it.
Got it. And they haven't run too much of that QB power. When think about the last 2 years, Fromberg would come in kind of as a change of pace for Drew Saxton. That was the play that they would primarily run with him. They'd bring him in, QB power up the middle, get your big athlete going downhill. Now we've really seen him blossom this year into a much more well-rounded quarterback through the air. Rollout game's been really strong. And then if they need to on 3rd and long right there, you see he's still capable.
He's thrown it for 921 yards. He's run it for 319. And he's got 11 touchdowns passing and 4 rushing. Sean Michael James picks up a yard.
Yeah, and on the rushing front today, Fromberg, he had 55 through 3 quarters. We'll tack on another 8. He's over 60. Dusler with his recent uptick in carries, 10 carries, 40 yards. So it's good. It's better. Still having Fromberg being your leading rusher. And then again, as we said, just offense overall, 310 total, 110 on the ground, which is outstanding. 200 yards passing as well to go on top of it.
And Alex actually has 3 touchdowns passing today, which gives him 12 for the season. I had said 11 over the middle, and that's an incomplete pass. Just 4 interceptions. The 4th one coming in the last series, a ball that skipped off his receiver's hand. So how would you had mentioned you didn't think that should be just labeled as a clean pick. How would you statistically represent things like that?
I don't know. There's people a lot smarter than me out there, some of the stats guys, that I'm sure they can come up with something. You hear about all these crazy acronyms and stats they got for whether it's NBA or MLB. There's got to be a smarter way that we can look at interception, or just, us as fans and watchers of the game maybe put less emphasis on it. You think about how important saves were in baseball back in the day, and now people have kind of realized, that and wins for a pitcher maybe doesn't tell the whole story. So, I don't know.
I want to thank the crew today. Kevin obviously joins us on our basketball broadcast, and Jeff, both working here today. Brian, our video replay, love the replays, and Mike Becker, our director. Basketball season right around the corner.
You have a prediction for the basketball season, men's and women's?
Wow, that is a beautiful punt. What a punt by Joseph Rhodes V.
He's been great all day.
Wow. His dad's here, his mom's here. Both of them from Colorado. They're outside the Los Angeles area. I was asking Joe's dad, Joseph Rhodes IV, why he came from California to northeastern Ohio, and he said, Joseph just really wanted to get out of California. He wanted to go east, and he wanted to go to an engineering school, and Case was one of the 3 that he looked at. He said, but what the real sell was, he says, is the way that Coach Debs met him. He said he let Coach Debs know he was going to be on a tour on campus on, whatever day it was, and Debs said, you know what, when your tour's over, text me, and I'll meet you underneath the goalpost on the northern end of the stadium, and we'll talk. And Joseph's dad said that's exactly what happened, and Joseph, his son, was very impressed with the talk with Coach Debs, and when he left, he was sold on Case Western Reserve for the engineering program and for the coach and the stability that Debs is. Obviously it's one of the highlights of this program. We've talked about it many times. You got Slesh and Miller, 2 veteran coaches that have been along with Debs, and I guess the rookie on that staff, if you throw out, like Sarzucci, who's a student assistant or something like that, the rookie's probably got, at least 5 years in on that staff.
Yeah, it's been good. It's a good group.
McGowan going to step up, and he's going to just get rid of the football.
Yeah, it's Caden Tong. He's closing in. He's going to get a sack here before the end of the day.
Tong came into today as their right defensive end, leading the team in tackles with 39. This is coming into today. Leading the team in sacks with 7. Leading the team in tackles for loss with 6.5. And this is all from a guy who in the spring had hip surgery. He has recovered well.
Yeah, you would never know. You'd never be able to tell.
Flag on the play. Beautiful pass, and it's picked. DJ Wolf. Boy, out of nowhere. That pass was on the money to Jalen Washington, and Wolf came in off screen and picked it off.
That is covered 2 perfectly.
Illegal formation, offense, number 78.
And the pick will stand.
That penalty is declined. First down, Case West.
That was great. So cover 2, you're going to have the corner underneath. He's going to play the flat and then trail. And the idea is you kind of release him and let him go. And then you got the safety there putting on the pick shades, celebrating with the guys. That was perfect.
That's a great shot. Pick shades, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure they have a more colorful name for them.
Homecoming weekend. Celebrations are on. 12 minutes left in this homecoming football game, and the Spartans have led from the start. Fromberg will hand it off to Lim. Christopher with some room inside, and he's across the 30 near the 25-yard line.
He's been pretty good. So, next year I think probably the year that we start to see more of Lim. You can tell he's got good speed initially. I think maybe one thing he'll continue to get older and get a little stronger, and instead of getting hit moving backwards, maybe you start falling forward a little bit. But he's been a good change of pace. He's definitely a different running style than Sean Michael James, who we see now, or even Dusler.
Michael James behind Fromberg, the quarterback. Sean Michael from Uniontown Lake High School in Hartville, Ohio. 200-pound senior. He'll take it, and he'll drop it, and Fromberg falls on it.
Yep, just going a little too quick. So when you run that read option like that, quarterback and running back need to be on the same page. Running back was just a little quicker than Fromberg anticipated. Puts the Spartans in 3rd and long, and this will likely be a case where they got 2 plays to try and get the first down.
Michael Wykowski comes into the game. Wykowski will split out wide to the right. He'll go all the way over towards that Westminster bench. Fromberg with 4 wide receivers. He's got Coyne and Nurk to his left. Looks left, now he's going to roll right. Pass is complete at the 28 and tackled nearly right away at the 25-yard line is Ethan Dahlem.
We'll see what Coach Debs wants to do here. Kicking team's ready if he wants it. This will be a 42-yard field goal. And we just saw Coach Miller, the defensive coordinator, and this is how you know it's a good staff. It's been together forever. Coach Debelak, the head coach, and in a lot of ways the offensive coordinator, in addition to Coach Slash, he looked at his defensive coordinator, looked for approval, and Coach Miller said, go for it. We got you. We got you. Even if you guys don't get it, defense got your back.
So it's 4th and 5. Spartans need to get the ball to the 20.5-yard line. Fromberg, quarterback draw. Needs to break a tackle. He does.
And he got it.
and he got the first down. Alex is inside the 20.
And it's the second time they've been. First time was on 3rd and 8. This time was on 4th down. Run that QB draw power up the middle. Fromberg able to get it done.
Well, the end of that run looked like he was just learning how to dance
Yeah.
and not doing it very well. But all that counts is he got the yards he needed.
Keep moving forward.
Is there a homecoming dance?
If there is, I didn't get invited.
Yeah. I was talking to President Kaler this morning. He was at the softball ring ceremony, and I'd asked him about his schedule on a homecoming day. Deep ball, end zone, it's too deep for everybody, and it was from the rip, from the time he woke up this morning to the time he'll lay his head down.
Oh, yeah.
Full of activities.
You see Fromberg taking a shot there to Wykowski. Step one to throw in the deep ball, probably got to keep it in bounds. Usually helps the old probability of that one, so he'll continue to refine it. It's still only I'll call this his 5th game as a full-time starter in his college career, as long as he's been around. This is definitely the most playing time he's had. So.
Well, he was stuck behind an All-American and a program record holder in nearly every statistical category for a quarterback in Drew Saxton. This is Lim with the handoff, and Christopher's inside the 15.
Yeah, and Drew is sitting about 6 feet to my left right now. So good to see him back on the coaching staff and just staying affiliated with the program and helping out Fromberg. And, I know the guys really respect him, and he's really been a good asset to the coaching staff overall.
I was talking to Drew on the sidelines before, I think it was before the Grove City game early in the season, and he was telling me about he played football in Germany this past season and did so very well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had his team in the playoffs, and he's thinking about he might go back again next year.
Yeah, he's the 3rd guy that I know of from Case in the last couple years that has played over in Europe. So you had Cam Brown, the great defensive end for the Spartans. He went and played a couple years over there. There we got a 15-yard flag. We had Rob Kuda. Probably, I don't know, he's probably 2nd or 3rd best quarterback we've ever had here. He went over and played overseas for a couple years, and now you got Drew continuing that legacy.
Boy, they've really had a string of good quarterbacks under Coach
After the
Devilak.
play was over, personal foul, defense number 90. Unnecessary roughness. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's Daniel Timmons. So the Spartans will have the football on the 6. 8:14 left to play in this football game.
Yeah, and the point you made about quarterback play, you think about, you had Rob Kuda for essentially 2.5 years, 2 full years. You had Drew Saxton for what seemed like 15 years.
Right.
Played basically from day one. So he got 5 years in, and now it's transitioned to Ian Kipp and Fromberg that we see out there today.
He had Dan Whalen in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Fromberg will keep it and take it himself. 6 yards later, it's a Spartan touchdown.
There we go. Yep, continuing the trend. He's probably been their best running threat in each game that he's played this season. Get him out on the edge. You get him going against some of these DBs. That's not a fun tackle for anybody out there.
Alex Fromberg has now thrown for 3 touchdowns today, and he's also run for another.
And that'll put Case up, pending the extra point. Going to be up either 24 or 25 points. There we go. Call it 25. That's exactly where they wanted to be. When they thought, woke up today and thought about how they wanted this game to go, probably could do without some of the fumble issues, probably without the interception. But overall, thinking on the scoreboard, we're halfway through the 4th quarter here. And to not only have, held Westminster to under 10 points thus far, but to put up 30 of your own is really, really exactly what they wanted.
31-6, 7:51 left to play. We'll take this timeout. Well, it's that time of the football game when it's clearly in hand, and you start thinking about what lies ahead as the Titans will return the football just past the 25-yard line. And what lies ahead for Case Western Reserve, Waynesburg is here next Saturday for a 2 o'clock kick. Waynesburg is 0-5 going into today. Then the Spartans go on the road to Washington and Jefferson. And W&J is 5-1. Home on November 4th for Senior Day against Allegheny. Allegheny 2-4 going into today. And then they wrap up the season in the annual Academic Bowl, the 37th annual, at Carnegie Mellon. And the Tartans are 5-1 going into today. So in two of the last four games, the Spartans will play two of the top teams in the conference.
Yeah, and Carnegie Mellon's really been kind of the grim reaper for this Case team. It's been really tough sledding. It's a tough matchup. Carnegie Mellon's going, what it comes down to a lot of times is it comes down to recruiting. So Case and Carnegie are probably on a different level academically than the rest of the conference. And a lot of times there's only so many kids that meet some of the requirements for those schools. And if Carnegie Mellon gets them, then that means Case isn't. If Case gets them, means Mellon isn't. So it's really a good head-to-head battle, and Mellon's had the upper hand the last couple years. And then you look at Washington and Jefferson. I mean, they've been a powerhouse. They've been a staple of the region for, call it 20 years at this point. So always a difficult team to play no matter what. And then when you have to go on the road to do it, it makes it that much tougher.
And that's where they'll be for both of those games. 3rd and long. McGowan, enough for a first down?
Going to be just short.
The mark. Going to be a yard short. That was Jalen Washington. Went out and found a spot, an open space, settled in. 4th and a long yard. Here comes Westminster. It's Washington in motion. And a penalty flag down at the line of scrimmage.
So you're going to be offsides or illegal formation. In the illegal formation false start category. Go ahead and decline that.
Illegal formation, offense, number 78. Flying off the ball. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is first down, Case Western.
And with that, Ron, looking out at the field, Mr. Fromberg's day is done.
Alex Fromberg's day is over, and what a good day it was for the senior from New Jersey. Responsible for 4 touchdowns today. Threw for 3, ran for another, and leaves the football game with his team up 31-6.
Looks like we'll get a good look at Tyler Fickus here, number 3, coming in at the quarterback position.
Fickus will hand it off, and that's Stefan Lopez with the run.
Well, that was good. That's one of the better games we've seen this season from Fromberg and the Case offense overall. Looks like a good chance for them to get some other guys in here, get some experience. When you get up like this, want to keep everybody healthy and also get some playing time for the younger guys.
Fickus, a first-year quarterback out of Fort Mill, South Carolina. Played his high school ball at Catawba Ridge High School. Spartans go handoff again. Just working that clock. Everybody's got, well, actually Case, Western Reserve, has just 2 timeouts left. Westminster has all 3.
Yeah, as we look at the scoreboard, assuming that it would hold, we touched on it at the top of the broadcast. So Case coming into the day, they were first in the PAC, 8th overall in all of NCAA Division III as far as scoring defense. They were giving up 9.2 points per game coming in. Again, assuming it holds, I'm sure I'll jinx it, but so far only giving up 6. That number will continue to come down. Really another impressive performance from the Case defense. Probably could have been a shutout too, if they...
Yeah, just that one play set up by a turnover.
On 4th down too.
On 4th and 6, they go 31 yards.
I got 4th down here. Looks like Case will keep the offense out there. By the time they snap it, we will be under 5 minutes left in the game.
They'll need 4 yards. Ball's at the 27. They need to get it to the 23. Fickus will hand it off, and the Spartans are going to be 3 yards short.
Yep, and now this offense is great. Love seeing points scored. When you start getting the backups in on defense, that's what I really enjoy watching. And the reason is, a lot of times they're going to be young. They don't really know the defense as well as they should. And they're told, go out there, play fast, play physical, put your head down, and it can be really, really fun to watch. It can also result in some big plays sometimes.
Yep.
And I promise you, if you watch Warren Miller on the sideline, he does not care who is out there, what string they are, how long you've been in the program. If they give up big plays, he will go bananas. He will go crazy. And he should. That's a sign of a good culture and good team defense. It's the same standard no matter who's out there playing on the field.
Titans run it. Get 3.5.
Looks like the time they snap it here will be right at about 4 minutes. Again, Case up 31-6. Looks like Westminster is keeping some of their starters in.
That's Billy Levick in at quarterback now for Westminster, and he is sacked.
I'm telling you, the young guys when they get out there on defense are fun. It's never boring. If you're a coach, it's sometimes a little stressful.
William Kerr, 95 with a partial sack, joining his teammate.
We just missed a celebration on the replay.
Jacob Shepnock.
See if we can get it here.
Shaponik, I saw him. He came out and he did like a kick forward with a
Here we
double
go.
elbow.
Get it up there, big fella. Yeah.
Oh, he wiped out of it. 3rd and 12. Lefty to throw.
Oh,
Three
yeah.
picked.
Oh, they're going to kill it off with a roughing the passer. That's a shame.
56. Real happy. That is J.T. Cooper.
And it's not going to count.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
That's a bad call.
Number 34.
Excuse me. Sorry. I just
15-yard penalty. Automatic. First out.
I enjoy good football, and that's a sense where the quarterback's going to throw it. Now, watch this play and assume that he pump fakes.
Watch this guy right here.
Assume he pump faked that. The timing is perfect. Okay, so you can't. I always think at all levels, college, NFL, high school, I just think we're asking too much of defenders to make split-second decisions like that.
Yeah.
Because if you slow up and he pump fakes it, then you're in trouble. But nonetheless, great play by Mr. Cooper. It still counts in our book. Let's see if we can go get another one. There you go. Go make a tackle for loss instead.
Nothing on that run for Westminster. Carrying the football was Demarion Collins. Collins from Border, Texas. Went to Humble High School. I forget the wide receiver for Ohio State, but it was when I was covering Buckeye football. John Cooper was the head coach. Buckeyes were ranked 2nd in the country going into the last game of the regular season, of course, at a team up north. They were playing in Ann Arbor. And it might have been David Boston.
It was David Boston.
He was bragging all week long about, and then the Buckeyes just got thumped. And the interesting twist to that story, David Boston was from Humble, Texas. Yeah. Yep.
They went up there, I think maybe 1997 might have been. I know he was fighting with Charles Woodson when they went up there. He was probably one of the first guys that really started that string of wide receivers coming out of there. You think him, a little before him, Chris Carter, Joey Galloway, Terry Glenn, really good run. And, I mean, now you see the guys they roll out. There's a whole stable of guys for the Buckeyes down in Columbus.
3rd and 13 for the Titans of Westminster. And they'll run it on 3rd and long, and they'll run it with Collins again. I think the rain has finally stopped. I'm looking at the puddles on the track here at DeSanto Field, and it had been a steady rain, at times a little bit harder than normal.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll brighten up a little bit, get people out down on the field, enjoy seeing a bunch of their friends, a bunch of alumni here. Most importantly, Cases, as far as we can tell, going to enjoy a nice victory.
Another quick little pass and a quick little hit. Brian Keys, sophomore linebacker.
I love it. I love it. Pressure on the quarterback. Good open field tackle there. Like we said, at all levels, no matter who's out there on the field, you got to uphold the standard and make sure that you preserve the points. There's nothing worse than when your starting defense goes out there, holds them to 6, and then the backups give up another touchdown.
6 points, and those 6 came after a turnover, a fumbled punt, and came on a 4th and 6th play from the 31-yard line. Spartan's going to take a knee. Westminster has 3 timeouts, so they could effectively, prolong this game. And it appears that they will choose not to.
So that'll do it. That'll put Case at 5-1. That's a great start to the season. Retroactively looking at the Grove City game, you really wish you could have pulled that out in overtime against a team that's now firmly in control of the conference, but nothing you can do about it now. Again, Case taking care of business today. Assume they take care of business next week, and then they can really get into the meat of their schedule here at the end.
Well, the takeaway from today was the outstanding play by this Case Western Reserve University defense. I mean, it was almost perfect. Coach Debelak and his team will stretch across the field and shake hands with Westminster. Titans will drop to 3-3 on the season. Spartans, as Andrew said, improved to 5-1. Next week, we'll be back in this booth. Spartans will be back on the field at DeSanto. And in town to take on Case Western will be Waynesburg. And Waynesburg went into today winless. So, could be a fun one a week from today. For Michael Becker, our director, and his outstanding crew, for my partner Andrew Rossman, my name's Ron Yantz. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next Saturday. Have a great homecoming weekend, everyone. The final today from DeSanto Field, Case Western Reserve 31, Westminster 6.